Chapter 989. Sounds rang out from all directions, and even more inextinguishable fire beacons were lit up one after another from the beacon towers of the various thunder worlds. The horn of war resounded through the clouds. The flames of war burned through the 3,000 thunder realms. This scene had only appeared 45 million years ago. Only when a peerless demon came would the 3,000 thunder realm raise the alarm. Hundreds of millions of lightning cultivators walked out of their caves with shocked expressions. What happened? This old man has lived for 3 million years and I have never seen the Thunder World's beacon tower lit up. Why is it burning today? Who ordered it to be lit? This is the signal of a great enemy. The realm patrolling lightning cultivators must have discovered the arrival of an unprecedented enemy and are warning us to be on guard. This scene. I've heard Grand Master mention it before. It was said that 45 million years ago, a similar scene had occurred in the 3,000 Thunder Realm. At that time, Devil Lord Sun Luo arrived at the Extreme Thunder Palace and used his own strength to severely injure the previous White Arch. He snatched away the Thunder King's seal and caused the 3,000 Thunder Domain to turn into a river of blood. I wonder which demon has come to the 3,000 Thunder Realm this time. It's Rain Lord Ning Fan. A good friend of mine just sent me a message saying that he saw the Rain Immortal Monarch barging into the Thunder World with his own eyes. What? It was old Demon Ning. This person has just annihilated the Anti-Ning Alliance not long ago. Now that he has come to the Thunder World, what is his intention? As soon as they heard that it was Ning Fan, many low-level lightning cultivators sucked in a breath of cold air. He was a ruthless individual who had destroyed the Alliance and killed the 3 venerated beings. Why would he suddenly come to the 3,000 Thunder Realm? Could it be that there were cultivators from the Thunder World who were involved in that dispute, and this old demon Ning was here to settle scores with those people? No, it shouldn't be. The 3,000 Thunder Realm is the territory of White Emperor Lan Yunxian. Although that old devil Ning is infamous, he might not dare to create trouble here. Speaking of which, they hadn't even figured out the purpose of this old demon Ning's visit, yet the realm patrolling lightning cultivator lit the fire signal and blew the bugle horn. Wasn't that a bit too much? There is no need for the entire domain to be on guard. We are a major force that has an immortal emperor. Why do we have to be so cautious? But was there really no need for that? Only those old monsters of the lightning world whose cultivation bases had reached the void shedding and thought fragmentation realms were aware of the inside story. This supreme lightning palace and the 3,000 lightning realms were still magnificent on the surface, but they were already riddled with holes on the inside. They could not withstand the torment of a devil lord like Ning Fan at all. If that was the case, how could these old fellows not be extremely vigilant when Ning Fan entered their world? The White Emperor, Lan Yunxian, had already met with danger when breaking through to the lightning physique 100 years ago. After that, she disappeared, and her whereabouts were still unknown. Currently, the Extreme Thunder Palace only had 4 10,000 ancient immortal venerables guarding it. Furthermore, the 4 of them were only at the first tribulation of 10,000 ancient. To ordinary cultivators, an eternal immortal venerable was already a supreme existence. However, to someone at Ning Fan's level, an eternal tribulation immortal venerable might not be enough even if there were 4 of them. The Anti-Ning Alliance, which had 1 second tribulation immortal sovereign and 2 first tribulation immortal sovereigns, was wiped out by old demon Ning. The current 3,000 Thunder Realm was no better than the Anti-Ning Alliance. Besides, if Ning Fan only had a high cultivation base, even if he comes to the 3,000 Thunder Realm, he would not have triggered such a huge panic. Most importantly, Ning Fan's reputation was not good. Killing people, setting fires, slaughtering sects and exterminating entire clans. In the eyes of the cultivators of the Eastern Heaven, those were the things that Ning Fan loved to do the most. What if old demon Ning comes with ill intentions? When they thought of this possibility, each of the old monsters of the Thunder World wore a grim expression. Quickly inform the 4 guardians that Rain Lord Ning Fan has entered the world. Ask the 4 guardians to come out of seclusion. Quickly activate the protective formation of the world. Once this devil causes trouble, we must protect the world with our lives. Guards, follow me to welcome the Rain Lord. Remember not to provoke this devil. Otherwise, a great disaster will surely befall you. As soon as the true immortals who belonged to the 3000 Thunder Realm received the news that Ning Fan had entered the world, they summoned up their courage and brought their people to welcome Ning Fan. This was a situation that Ning Fan did not expect. His original intention was to go to the Supreme Thunder Palace in a low-key manner. However, he did not expect that the moment he entered the Thunder World, he would cause a huge commotion in the 3000 Thunder Realm as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Father, it's so noisy here. It's giving me a headache. Immortal Loli raised her small head and looked at Ning Fan with a wrinkled face. Her arrival at this place had evoked many memories. She already had a headache. Now that the entire sky was filled with the sound of the horn, her headache became even more painful. Then, I won't let them quarrel anymore. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve and a spatial barrier immediately appeared around Immortal Loli. Before the noisy sound of the horn could get close to her, it had already dissipated. It could no longer reach her ears. This was the divine ability that Ning Fan obtained after he attained the Void Renunciation Realm in his Spirit God and Demon Realm. It could make all the colors, sounds, smells in the world return to nothingness. None of them would be able to get close to one's body. Most cultivators who had renounced their Void Renunciation Realm knew this ability. However, the extent of their proficiency in it differed. Lightning chariots arrived in a hurry. One after another, the old monsters whose names shook the Thunder World arrived on rays of light. In just a short span of tens of breaths, more than 1,000 immortal cultivators had arrived at this place. They formed a formation to welcome Ning Fan, and there were even more old monsters from the Thunder World who were on their way here. We, the cultivators of the Thunder World, welcome the Rain Immortal Monarch. Even though there were many immortal cultivators in this place, only a few of them dared to raise their heads and look at Ning Fan directly. Only a few of the leading cultivators of the Thunder World dared to lift their heads slightly. However, they were also filled with fear and trepidation. They were afraid that they would offend the great deity Ning Fan if they made a wrong expression. Everyone, you don't have to be so careful. I don't have any ill intentions by coming here. I just have something to discuss with the guardians of the Extreme Lightning Palace. Ning Fan's tone was still considered polite. However, everyone was still doubtful of his words. He has something to discuss with the guardians. Don't tell me he's here to kill the guardians. Or perhaps, he's here to capture the venerated immortal human cauldron. The Rain Lord is the successor of ancient chaos. Each of the 4 guardians is at the venerated immortal realm and they still have their primordial Een. Could it be? When they thought of this possibility, the few cultivators of the Thunder World immediately broke out in cold sweat. This is too possible. Can you bring me to the Extreme Lightning Palace to meet the guardians of the Lightning Palace? Ning Fan asked again. Since the host had come to welcome him, it would not be appropriate for him to go to the Extreme Lightning Palace alone. Everyone fell into silence. No one dared to answer him. If Ning Fan comes with ill intentions and they bring him to the Extreme Lightning Palace, forget it. It's better for me to go there myself. Ning Fan shook his head. He was too lazy to care about these people. He held the immortal Loli's small hand and was about to detour around them to continue moving forward. Everyone's expressions changed. They wanted to stop Ning Fan but they did not dare to do so. However, they felt that it was inappropriate to let Ning Fan go to the Extreme Lightning Palace. Some of them looked at the immortal Loli hesitantly. They did not understand why Ning Fan wanted to bring a little girl to the Extreme Lightning Palace. If he's here to pick a fight, wouldn't he feel that bringing a little girl would be a burden? Or could it be that even this little girl is a human cauldron that Ning Fan caught? It's highly possible. He didn't even let go of such a small child. I didn't expect that the successor of ancient chaos would actually have such a taste. No one could recognize that the immortal loli was White Emperor Lan Yunxian. Of course, they could not recognize her. Lan Yunxian had turned into an immortal loli. Her cultivation base, qi and appearance had all changed drastically. This was also the most troublesome point. Even the higher-ups of the Extreme Lightning Palace did not know what Lan Yunxian looked like now. They only knew that Lan Yunxian would shrink. For the past 100 years, the Extreme Lightning Palace had spent a lot of effort to find Lan Yunxian. However, they could not provide any information about her. Just as everyone was in a dilemma, 4 rays of light shot towards them. They were actually 4 6-colored lightning chariots. Then, 4 beautiful silver-haired ladies walked down from the chariots. They were the 4 immortal venerables of the Extreme Lightning Palace. They were Venerables Qianyue, Venerables Yu Lu, Venerables Qing Xiao and Venerables Ro Lan. I'm Lan Xiaoqian. Greetings to fellow Daoist Ning. I wonder why you're here today. The 4 ladies looked at Ning Fan as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Their strength was not as strong as Ning Fan in the first place. Moreover, Ning Fan could restrain female cultivators. Thus, when they looked at Ning Fan, they actually felt a sense of danger that came from deep within their bones. Dangerous. Very dangerous. The strong sense of danger they felt was as if Ning Fan could easily take down the 4 of them if he wanted to. This feeling was really absurd. However, when their gazes fell upon immortal loli, their expressions that were as if they were facing a formidable enemy turned into one of disbelief and surprise. With their understanding of Lan Yunxian, how could they not recognize that this little girl was their palace lord, Lan Yunxian? The 4 ladies were also people with deep thoughts. They instantly understood Ning Fan's purpose of coming. Ning Fan was here to send someone off. Could it be that the purpose of Rain Sovereign's visit is, that's right. If that's the case, Rain Sovereign will be an honored guest of our Extreme Lightning Palace. Rain Sovereign, please come to the Lightning Flash Hall of our Extreme Lightning Palace. Allow us 4 sisters to entertain Rain Sovereign properly. The 4 ladies spoke in riddles with Ning Fan. Then, their previous anxious and uneasy attitude was completely gone. Instead, they happily welcomed Ning Fan into the Extreme Lightning Palace. What's going on? The 4 of them, who were deeply influenced by the current White Emperor and had always disliked men, were actually so happy and delighted when they saw Ning Fan's arrival. Besides, didn't the Lightning Flash Hall not allow any man to enter? It was the resting palace of the current White Emperor. Why did the 4 of them invite Ning Fan to that place as soon as they saw him? Could it be? Immediately, many old monsters revealed a playful smile. They thought to themselves that this old devil Ning did not come here to cause trouble but to seek pleasure instead. They really couldn't tell that the 4 guardians who usually looked serious were actually not as chaste as they appeared to be. Instead, they secretly had a relationship with old devil Ning. As soon as they saw Ning Fan, they were overjoyed and couldn't wait to go to the resting palace to have fun. 1 dragon and 4 phoenixes. Ah no, old devil Ning even brought a little girl with him. It's actually 1 dragon and 5 phoenixes. This old devil Ning really knows how to have fun. He's worthy of being the successor of ancient chaos. However, what does this have to do with us lowly cultivators? The dragons and phoenixes that old devil Ning liked to have fun with did not need them to interrupt him. It was also not something that they could discuss. There were also many people with discerning eyes who noticed the change in the 4 guardians' eyes when they saw immortal loli. That little girl. Could she be? Some of the old monsters' hearts were beating wildly. They were almost beaming with joy. It's highly possible that the current White Emperor has already been found. From the looks of it, the Rain Lord's arrival in the Thunder World was not a great disaster but a great joy instead. A great joy. Unfortunately, there were only a few people with discerning eyes, in the Lightning Palace of the Extreme Lightning Palace. Ning Fan briefly told the four ladies about the whole story of how he picked up the immortal lowly, leaving out the beginning and the end. He did not tell them about his trip to the desolate land. He only said that he went into seclusion with immortal lowly for 100 years in a certain place. He also did not tell them about his experiences in detail. After that, it was the scene of immortal lowly reuniting with the four ladies after a long time. Immortal lowly hid behind Ning Fan like a small animal. She only poked her head out and looked at the four ladies in confusion. Who are these four ladies? I think I've dreamt of them before, Palace Lord. You're finally back. Do you know how worried we were about you? Without the suppression of the Thunder King seal, the risk of evolving your lightning body to the 9th revolution is already very high. You actually ran away and even ran away for 100 years. If there's a next time, don't blame me for being barbaric. I'll directly lock you in the lightning pool. I'm doing this for your sake, old man. Lan Xiaoqian raised her eyebrows and pointed at immortal lowly while criticizing her. However, her concern was clearly expressed in her words. Immortal lowly pouted her lips. This woman is so fierce. Palace Lord. You ran away again. How could you run away like that? You're too naughty. I've told you not to run away. Look at how worried we were when you ran away. Even if we're not worried, there are still countless cultivators in the 3000 Thunder world who are worried. Even if they're not worried, there are still so many flowers and plants who will be worried. If you really want to go out to play, you should tell us. How would we know if you don't tell us? Besides. Lan Xiaoyu continued to talk endlessly. Immortal lowly trembled slightly. This woman is so long-winded. She's even scarier than the previous one. Palace Lord, the rules cannot be abolished. According to the 17th rule of the lightning law of the Extreme Thunder Palace, as the Palace Lord, you shouldn't go out recklessly when your lightning body is evolving. According to the 31st rule of the lightning law, as the Palace Lord, you shouldn't. According to the 79th rule of the lightning law, as the Palace Lord, you shouldn't. Lan Xiaoqing brought out one rule after another. Immortal lowly's ears grew calluses after listening to her. This woman is so old-fashioned. She hates these rules the most. Sob sob sob. Palace Lord, you've become thinner. This subordinate's heart aches. Sob sob sob, sob sob sob, Lan Xiao's tears did not stop. Immortal lowly felt a chill down her spine. This woman really likes to cry. Her words are also coquettish. She's so pretentious. Father, these women are so scary. Can we go home? Immortal lowly begged. Father. The four women frowned and looked at Ning Fan. They would only act abnormally in front of their Palace Lord. In front of others, they would act like normal. Young Master Ning, you haven't explained why our Palace Lord calls you father. The four women asked with knitted brows. As this concerned the reputation of the Extreme Thunder Palace, they had no choice but to ask. Xian Er lost her memory. So, Ning Fan briefly explained the reason. After listening to his explanation, the four women did not say anything else. They just looked at Ning Fan with sympathy. Yes. It's sympathy. Young master, you might not know this, but our Palace Lord hates men the most. She especially hates devil cultivators. After all, our Palace Lord's master, who is also the previous White Emperor, was severely injured because of a devil cultivator. That's why he passed away prematurely. If our Palace Lord regains her memory and knows that she called you father, I'm afraid that this matter. Lan Yunxian hates men. There seems to be some rumors about this in the Eastern Heaven. As for hating devil cultivators, this is my first time hearing about it. However, our Palace Lord values kindness the most. You've saved her before. No matter what, she won't repay your kindness with ingratitude. Young master, you don't have to worry about this. That's good. Young master has sent our palace lord back. You're the benefactor of our extreme thunder palace. We don't know how we should thank you. How about this? Young master, if you have any request, you can just tell us. Our extreme thunder palace will definitely fulfill your request even if we have to do everything we can. What do you think? The four women said sincerely. Oh. I can ask for anything I want. Ning Fan looked at the four women with a playful expression. Immediately, the four women blushed. However, they only hesitated for a moment and said with clenched teeth. Yes. You can ask for anything. Even if you want us. We can also. After all, you're the one who saved our palace lord. I can ask for anything I want. These four women are really loyal to Xian Er. They seem to be willing to give up everything for her. An immortal venerated human cauldron is certainly not bad. If I pluck them, my cultivation base will certainly improve tremendously. Unfortunately, these four women are obviously Xian Er's trusted subordinates and they have a very close relationship. If I forcefully pluck them, I'm afraid that it will hurt Xian Er's heart. The reason why Ning Fan asked this question was not because he really wanted to pluck the four women. Instead, he just wanted to test their loyalty. The result of this test was quite satisfactory. As such, he could rest assured and leave Xian Er to the four women. Forget it. I didn't ask for your gratitude when I sent Xian Er back. You don't have to thank me either. Speaking of which, your sect should have enough lightning power for Xian Er's lightning body to evolve, right? Ning Fan changed the topic and asked. The reserve of lightning power in our sect is slightly insufficient, but it's not much. We just need to purchase some from the Eastern Sky Great Sect and it will be enough. However, Lan Xiaoro wanted to say something but stopped. The other three women signaled her with their eyes to stop her from speaking. If she continues, it will be the secret of the Extreme Lightning Palace. What is it? Is there something wrong with the evolution of Xian Er's lightning body? Ning Fan was concerned about Xian Loli's safety. Even though he knew that Lan Xiaoro's words were related to the secret of the Extreme Lightning Palace, he still asked. This. Forget it. Young master is the benefactor of our sect. You're not an outsider. It's fine for you to know about this. Young master, have you heard about the incident where Sun Luo wreaked havoc in the eastern sky for the first time 45 million years ago? Of course I've heard about it. Sun Luo's reputation is unparalleled. It's normal for young master to have heard some things about him. However, there are some things that young master might not have heard about. In the past, when Sun Luo wreaked havoc in the eastern sky, he once came to my 3000 Thunder Realm and took away a treasure seal from the hands of the previous palace lord of my Extreme Lightning Palace. It's called the Thunder King Seal. The four women sighed softly and began to talk about the past of the Extreme Lightning Palace. As it turned out, all the previous palace lords of the Extreme Lightning Palace were the possessors of the 9 Revolutions lightning body. However, everyone knew that the evolution of the 9 Revolutions lightning body was extremely dangerous. Once the evolution fails, the lightning body would collapse and they would die. Most of the possessors of the lightning body would die during the evolution of the lightning body. It was rare to see someone who could evolve the lightning body to the 9th revolution. However, the progenitor of the Extreme Lightning Palace obtained a treasure by chance. It could protect the lightning body from collapsing. Thus, even if the lightning body cultivator fails the evolution, he or she would not die. There was a possibility for them to survive. This treasure was the Thunder King Seal that was passed down from generation to generation in the Extreme Lightning Palace. However, the Thunder King Seal was taken away by Sun Luo and its whereabouts were unknown to this day. Our palace lord is extremely talented. Even though he doesn't have the Thunder King Seal to protect his body, he refined 3 Thunder Flash mirrors with his own comprehension of lightning. They also have some protective power. Thus, the lightning body has evolved 8 times. Now, he is facing the last evolution of the lightning body, the 9th revolution. However, this is also the most dangerous one. If he fails, even the 3 thunder flash mirrors will not be able to protect the palace lord's life. What's more troublesome is that these 3 thunder flash mirrors are not in the extreme lightning palace now. They have been borrowed by a few old monsters of the eastern sky. Speaking of this, the faces of the 4 women were more or less filled with anger and shame. 100 years ago, their palace lord encountered danger when he was breaking through the 9th revolution. Fortunately, he had the help of the thunder flash mirrors and luckily did not die. However, he went missing. The chances of finding the palace lord was very slim. If it wasn't for the fact that the palace lord's life plate was not broken, the 4 women almost thought that the palace lord had already died outside due to the lack of lightning power. Even though the extreme lightning palace strictly blocked the news, there were still many old monsters of the eastern sky who knew about this matter. They knew that the current extreme lightning palace no longer had an immortal emperor to oversee it. There were only 4 first tribulation immortal sovereigns left. Hence, there were a few old monsters of the eastern sky who were bold and reckless. They wanted to step on the extreme lightning palace at this moment and reap some benefits. However, they did not dare to push the extreme lightning palace too far. They only said that they wanted to borrow by Lan Yunxian's famous magic treasure, the 3 thunder flash mirrors. Those few old monsters had repeatedly come to the extreme lightning palace to stir up trouble. Unfortunately, their cultivation bases were not weak. Even with the cultivation bases of the 4 women, they could not do anything to them. With no other choice, they could only compromise and temporarily lend the 3 thunder flash mirrors to them. They plan to ask for it after they find their palace lord. Now that their palace lord had already returned to the palace, it was time to ask for the treasures back. Young master, please stay in the extreme lightning palace for the time being. We have a lot of matters to attend to recently. Please forgive us if we neglect you. It's all right. You guys go and do your own things. You don't have to worry about me. Hence, the 4 women were divided into 2 groups. One group went to buy the lightning power while the other group went to ask for the 3 thunder flash mirrors. A few days later, the 2 women who went to buy the lightning power returned. They had already prepared the lightning power well. However, the other 2 women returned to the extreme lightning palace empty-handed with injuries. What happened? Ning Fan asked with a frown. We are useless. We didn't ask for the thunder flash mirrors back. Lan Xiaoqing and Lan Xiaoro's faces were filled with shame. However, most of them were filled with anger. These people were really bold. After knowing that their palace lord had already returned to the palace, they still dared to seize the magic treasure and refuse to return it. They actually did not put the extreme lightning palace in their eyes. Extreme lightning palace? Without Bai Lan Yunxian, what's left are just 4 great human cauldrons. Humph. So what if Lan Yunxian has returned? Now that her lightning body has evolved, does she have the cultivation base to protect you? If you push this old man too far. Hee hee. When they thought of the arrogant and despotic faces of those people, the 2 women gritted their teeth in anger. However, there was nothing they could do. So what if they were not as strong as them? Moreover, those people were not rogue cultivators. Behind them was also the great Eastern Heaven Sovereign. This is going to be troublesome. Our palace lord has always disliked men. In the past, a few immortal kings who intended to follow our palace lord left with a bitter smile. Now that our palace lord's cultivation base is gone, I'm afraid we won't be able to get the thunder flash mirror back even if we go together. The 4 women looked at each other with sadness. They wanted to ask some of their good friends for help. Unfortunately, they did not have many good friends in the first place. Even if they had a few friends, they would not be willing to take the risk of offending another immortal emperor just to ask for the thunder flash mirror. Tell me. Who is the one who borrowed the thunder flash mirror and what is his background? Ning Fan frowned slightly and stood up. I will help you get it back. If this thunder flash mirror was an indispensable item for the evolution of the immortal lightning body, then he would have to step forward. Chapter 990. The Eastern Arrival Star Region was a desolate star region. There were many gray abandoned stars floating in the star region. Most of them were not suitable for living beings to live in. However, in this desolate star region, there was a dojo of the Great Eastern Sky Sovereign. Therefore, even though this place was desolate, there were many Eastern Sky cultivators coming and going. The outer region of the Eastern Arrival Star Region. A group of Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators were flying across the sky. They were going to the dojo of the Xiaoyao Mountain at the center of the star region to visit the dojo of an immortal emperor. This group of cultivators consisted of 6 people. Each of them looked fanatical. From their clothes, they seemed to belong to the same force. The leader of the group had the highest cultivation level. He was an expert at the 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. At this moment, he was explaining something to the others. The Eastern Arrival Star Region is the dojo of Great Emperor Chonghe. Junior brothers, you don't know much about the world. You might be unfamiliar with this Great Emperor. You might not know this. Although Great Emperor Chonghe's cultivation level is not the highest among the Eastern Sky Sovereigns, he is the most experienced one. It is said that the seniority of the Eastern Sky Sovereigns is not as high as him. Even those quasi-saints are not as old as him. There is also a rumor that Great Emperor Chonghe is not a human but a demon. Moreover, he has the bloodline of a white ape. However, he does not cultivate the cultivation method of the demon race. Therefore, Great Emperor Chonghe has another name, Eternal White Ape Old Chonghe. The dojo of Great Emperor Chonghe is built at the center of the Eastern Arrival Star Region. If we meet someone wearing gray clothes and a bamboo hat, we must not offend him. Remember this. It is said that all the disciples of Great Emperor Chonghe are dressed like this. The only difference is the color of the bamboo hat. The disciples of the first step are only qualified to wear a copper bamboo hat. Only the disciples of the second step are qualified to wear a silver bamboo hat. The silver bamboo hats are divided into 9 grades. Only Great Emperor Chonghe himself and his subordinates, the 2 kings and 6 venerables, are allowed to wear a golden bamboo hat. There is also the rule of the Xiaoyao Mountain. Junior brothers, you must remember this. Just as the group was advancing, a ray of gray light suddenly flashed and appeared in front of the 6 of them. It was a profound life immortal realm cultivator wearing gray clothes and a bamboo hat. He was wearing a silver bamboo hat. A corner of the bamboo hat was carved with a gray cloud pattern. The one wearing the bamboo hat. The 6 Void Fragmentation Realm experts immediately felt terrified. They stopped their escaping lights and bowed respectfully towards the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat. None of them dared to be negligent. The cultivator wearing the bamboo hat had an arrogant expression. He did not return the greeting and only said indifferently, "Do you know the rules?" We know. These are our storage pouches. Senior can choose one item from them." The 6 of them respectfully untied their interspatial pouches and handed them over to the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat. Then, the cultivator in the bamboo hat took one item from each of the bags of holding. Some were treasures, some were pills, and some were treasures. He then returned the 4 bags of holding to their owners and gave each of them a token. The 4 of you are qualified to enter the Xiaoyao Mountain Taoist Rite Temple to pay your respects. Here is your pass. The remaining 2 storage bags were confiscated by the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat. He said to the remaining 2 people in a deep voice, "The 2 of you are not sincere enough. If you can't take out something more valuable, you can scram." According to the rules of Xiaoyao Mountain, if one wished to enter this place to pay their respects, they would have to offer up their storage pouch and allow the bamboo hat messenger to pick one item. Only then would they be qualified to enter. If they did not offer up their treasures, they would not be allowed to enter the Zhaoyao Mountain Taoist Rite Temple. If the treasures they offered were not valuable enough, their storage pouch would be confiscated and they would be expelled from the Zhaoyao Mountain Taoist Rite Temple. As soon as the words of the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat fell, the other two cultivators were immediately dissatisfied. I clearly have a mortal void realm treasure and a sixth revolution pill in my storage pouch. Isn't that enough to show my sincerity? Isn't it enough to exchange for the pass? Not enough. If a void fragmentation realm cultivator wants to enter the Taoist Rite Temple, they would need to offer up an immortal void realm treasure, a seventh revolution pill or something of equal value. The price for a second step cultivator is even higher. The two of you clearly have immortal void realm treasures, but you hid them in your body instead of putting them in your storage pouch for me to choose. Do you think I can't see through your intentions? I don't want to talk nonsense with you. If you don't have more valuable treasures to offer, then scram. If you don't leave, then die. The two cultivators still wanted to argue. At this moment, a miserable cry suddenly came from afar. It turned out that a profound life immortal was killed by the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat because he resisted the law. Hiss. A dignified profound life immortal was actually directly killed by someone. This East Arrival Star region is really too dangerous. The way the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat behaved could be said to be overbearing and unreasonable. After witnessing such a scene, how would the two of them still dare to bargain? They had no choice but to take out more valuable treasures to exchange for the pass. However, the storage pouch that was confiscated could not be returned no matter what. This was the rule of the Swaying Mountain. Those who come to visit the Swaying Mountain must present their treasures. This was the rule set by Great Emperor Chonghe. No one could change it or disobey it. If one forcefully disobeys the rule, one must have the courage to bear the wrath of the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat. However, if the immortal venerables of the ancient times were here, there would not be any blind cultivator wearing the bamboo hat who would ask the immortal venerables to present their treasures. Even though the cultivators of the Swaying Mountain are overbearing, they are not stupid. Immortal venerables are not people who can be easily offended. After entering the East Arrival Star region, he had already witnessed 4 people being killed with his own eyes. All of them were because they disobeyed the orders of the cultivator wearing the bamboo hat. If they disobey the order, they would be directly killed without showing any mercy. This was the domineering style of the cultivators of the Swaying Mountain. Their subordinates were already so domineering. It was not hard to imagine how domineering Great Emperor Chonghe himself was. No wonder the immortal venerables of the ancient times under Great Emperor Chonghe dared to trample on the extreme lightning palace when Xian Xian was missing. After knowing that Xian Xian had already returned, they still dared to borrow the treasure and not return it. The advice of Lan Xiaoqian and the other 3 women before they left rang in Ning Fan's ears again. Young Master Ning, you must be more amiable when you go to the Swaying Mountain this time. As long as you can get the lightning flash mirror back, it's fine even if our extreme lightning palace has to pay some price. However, you must not get into a bad relationship with the cultivators of the Swaying Mountain. After all, the Lord of the Mountain is the dignified Great Emperor Chonghe. This emperor is famous for being unreasonable. Many old monsters of the eastern sky have been bullied by him. However, I didn't expect that the cultivators of the Swaying Mountain would bully our extreme lightning palace this time. These 4 women are really timid. Do they really need to be so afraid of the Swaying Mountain? However, Ning Fan could understand their concerns. Now that the evolution of the immortal lightning physique has yet to be completed, if they really fall out with Great Emperor Chonghe, it would indeed be difficult to resolve the situation. Although Ning Fan understood their concerns, he was not afraid of Great Emperor Chonghe. Even though he needed to look up to an immortal emperor who had undergone the 6th tribulation of the eternal era, he was not afraid of him. Fine. Since the 4 women have been begging him bitterly, if this cultivator of the Swaying Mountain is reasonable, I will ask for the lightning flash mirror back in a gentle way. Ning Fan's entry into the 3000 Thunder Realm had caused a huge commotion. This time, he had learned his lesson and did not expose his appearance and identity. Instead, he used the light of luck to conceal his appearance. Any cultivator whose cultivation base has reached the eternal era could use the light of luck to conceal their appearance. Even though Ning Fan was not an eternal era cultivator, his tribulation blood was strong enough to do the same. As such, his entire body was enveloped by 4 rays of light. As soon as he entered the eastern arrival star region, the soaring heavens luck that he revealed immediately attracted the attention of various forces. Hiss! It's actually luck. It's actually an ancient old monster. I wonder which old monster of the eastern sky he is. Judging from the aura of his traveling light, he seems to be an ancient immortal venerable instead of an immortal king. The 4th color of his immortal luck. Even though this senior isn't an immortal king, he has such a strong luck. Even among the immortal kings, his luck is considered to be above average. It's really rare. Even though it was easy to attract attention with luck, it was already a better result than having the entire 3000 Thunder Realm on alert. The arrival of ordinary ancient immortal venerables would not cause widespread panic. Thus, the eastern arrival star region did not fall into chaos because of Ning Fan's arrival. Another advantage of having luck was that none of the patrolling cultivators wearing bamboo hats came to look for trouble with Ning Fan. Thus, Ning Fan's journey to the 12 stars of the eastern arrival star region was almost unimpeded. The 12 stars of the eastern arrival star region. It was an arch-shaped constellation formed by 12 emperor-grade cultivation stars that were connected by a formation. At the center of the constellation was a lofty mountain with immortal chi. It floated in the boundless starry sky. Many osmanthus trees were planted on the mountain and the zhuyu grass grew all over the place. Mortals could eat them without feeling hungry for days. There were all kinds of strange beasts living on the mountain. Ning Fan had never seen many of them before. The peak of the Zhaoyao mountain was extremely spacious. There was a dojo built there. 100,000 cultivators chanted scriptures and worshipped Great Emperor Chonghe all year round. The cultivators of the Zhaoyao mountain were used to grand occasions. Thus, when Ning Fan arrived at the mountain, almost no one was surprised. All of them were still chanting scriptures. It was perfectly normal for an ancient immortal venerable to come to the dojo to pay their respects. There were naturally people who would receive them. However, after a few breaths, no one could remain calm anymore. As Ning Fan released the light of luck, the 100,000 cultivators in the dojo stood up in shock. They stared at the figure of a young man in white robes in the starry sky in disbelief. Reign! Reign, immortal monarch! Why is this person here? Don't tell me he's here to cause trouble. This person could annihilate the anti-Ning alliance. If he starts a massacre here. The ancestral master is in seclusion. Quickly inform the 2 kings and 6 venerables that a powerful devil is coming. We must be on our guard. Where are the disciples of the formation hall? Hurry up and get into position. Once this devil attacks, activate the Zhaoyao Starry Sky formation and guard the Zhaoyao mountain with your life. The atmosphere instantly turned solemn. Even if some immortal kings were to come, they would not make the cultivators of the Zhaoyao mountain act as if they were facing a great enemy. Ning Fan was the only one who was different. The number of murders he had committed was completely different. Dong! Dong! Dong.it was the sound of the Chonghe drum. It sounded 7 times in a row. Inside the stone chamber of the Zhaoyao Mountains dojo, the expressions of the 2 kings and 6 venerables who were in seclusion changed. They then spread their spirit sense to the outside world. The 2 immortal kings of the Zhaoyao mountain were still fine. Even though they were on guard against Ning Fan's arrival, they did not show themselves because of their status. The 6 immortal venerables of the Zhaoyao mountain, on the other hand, broke out of their seclusion at the same time. They directly flew into the starry sky and surrounded Ning Fan. Each of them wore a golden bamboo hat on their heads. There were 4 First Tribulation Immortal Venerables and 2 Second Tribulation Immortal Venerables. May I know why Rain Sovereign has come to the Xiaoyao Mountain? The 6 Immortal Venerables of the Xiaoyao Mountain looked at Ning Fan with vigilance as if they were facing a great enemy. Currently, no one in the circle of the Immortal Venerables of the Eastern Heaven dared to underestimate Ning Fan. First, it was Old Ancestor De Yun. Then, it was the 3 Venerables of the Alliance. Up until now, Ning Fan had already taken the lives of 4 Immortal Venerables. Who would dare to underestimate him? Even some immortal kings who could defeat lower-stage Immortal Venerables would find it difficult to kill them. Which one of the 10,000 ancient monsters was not good at protecting themselves? It was definitely not an easy task to kill them with a single strike. However, Ning Fan had done it. Moreover, he had done it more than once. The Rain Sovereign must never be underestimated. I, Ning, have no ill intentions in coming here today. As soon as Ning Fan said that, the 6 Immortal Venerables of the Xiaoyao Mountain heaved a sigh of relief. However, Ning Fan's next sentence made their expressions change slightly. I just want to retrieve a treasure for my friend from the Extreme Lightning Palace. Oh. This matter is related to the Extreme Lightning Palace? My Xiaoyao Mountain doesn't seem to have anything related to the Extreme Lightning Palace. I wonder what item you want to retrieve. One of the Second Tribulation Immortal Venerables pretended to be confused and asked in surprise. He was a red-haired old man with 3 dark red marks on the right side of his face. His Dao name was Fan He. He was the one with the highest cultivation base among the 6 Venerables. The other few Immortal Venerables of 10,000 ancient times also pretended to be confused as if they did not know what was going on at all. If it wasn't because Ning Fan knew the inside story, he would almost think that the lightning flash mirror was really not here. Ning Fan frowned. He was a little dissatisfied with these people's indecisiveness. A straightforward person will not resort to insinuations. I have come for the lightning flash mirror. This item is extremely important to the Extreme Lightning Palace. I hope that all of you can give me some face and return it. Seeing Ning Fan being so straightforward, Fan He and the others no longer felt like pretending. Their expressions darkened and they said coldly, Rain Sovereign, are you trying to stand up for the Extreme Lightning Palace? So what if we don't give you this face? Is the face of the Rain Sovereign very valuable? We are a little wary of you but not because we are afraid of you. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and get lost. If you make us angry, we will make you suffer the consequences just like those women from the Extreme Lightning Palace. After all, they were in their own territory. Besides, there were also immortal kings and immortal emperors guarding the place. Even though Fan He and the others were wary of Ning Fan, they were not afraid of him. Thus, their tone became tougher. Ning Fan's frown deepened. However, he remembered the advice of the 4 ladies and said calmly, a life for a life. Since you have borrowed the lightning flash mirror, you should return it. If the White Emperor's lightning body finishes evolving and we pursue this matter, can you bear the wrath of the White Emperor? Immortal Loli's original cultivation base was at the 7th Tribulation Realm, which was higher than Great Emperor Chongha's 6th Tribulation Realm. If her lightning body finishes evolving, her cultivation base would improve significantly. The fury of the immortal Loli was not something that anyone could withstand. At least, the Xiaoyao Mountain alone might not be able to bear it. Ning Fan was really curious about why the Xiaoyao Mountain would be so unwise to become enemies with the Extreme Lightning Palace just for the lightning flash mirror. After hearing Ning Fan's words, the 6 venerated beings hesitated. However, they only hesitated for a moment before bursting into laughter. Our old ancestor cultivates the innate Dharma eye which allows him to see the amount of qi in his body. Our old ancestor has said that Lan Yinxian's qi has reached its end. She no longer has the possibility of evolving her lightning body. You won't be able to scare us by using Lan Yinxian as a banner. It's impossible for us to return the lightning flash mirror. According to the rules of my Xiaoyao mountain, no matter what it is, as long as it enters the pocket of my Xiaoyao mountain, don't even think about taking it back. This is the Xiaoyao mountain, not the Dan Xia planet. It's not a place where you can behave atrociously. If you leave now, my Xiaoyao mountain can pretend that nothing has happened. Otherwise. Humph. Venerated immortal Fan, he sneered coldly. His threat was obvious. Ning Fan hated people who threatened him the most in his life. If it wasn't because of the four ladies' warning, he would have already acted up. Even though his tone was still calm, his eyes were filled with coldness. I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to return this lightning flash mirror or not? If fellow Taoists return this mirror, the four guardians of the Extreme Lightning Palace have said that they will prepare a small gift for all of you. What small gift? I don't need it. If you want to give it to me, wash all the women of the Extreme Lightning Palace clean and send them to me. If you want to stand up for the Extreme Lightning Palace, why don't you measure your own strength first? Do you think that the entire Eastern Heaven is your territory? Get lost. If you speak any more nonsense, I'll make you leave the Xiaoyao mountain lying on the ground. Fan He and the others clamored even louder. From their point of view, Ning Fan's repeated tolerance was a sign of fear. Ning Fan laughed. His laughter was obviously calm, but it carried endless coldness to them. In the cultivation world, strength was everything. The strong were respected. When facing people like the Xiaoyao mountain, it was impossible to reason with them without strength. Reasoning blindly would only make the other party look down on you even more and bully you even more. I've promised my friends from the Extreme Lightning Palace that I will try my best to resolve this matter peacefully. Now, I've changed my mind. Qi Ning Fan suddenly disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment, he appeared behind a First Tribulation Immortal Venerable. He raised his sword and directly slashed it down. On the edge of the sword, 4 different types of palm lights glowed with unstoppable cold light. The First Tribulation Immortal Venerable felt a chill run down his spine. Then, his body turned into red mist and dissipated. However, it was useless. As the red mist condensed, the First Tribulation Immortal Venerable reappeared 100 zhang away. However, he was still injured by Ning Fan's sword. There was a deep wound on his back that went all the way from his shoulder to his waist. The 6 venerated beings were shocked. The 2 immortal kings who were still in seclusion were also shocked. Even Great Emperor Chongha, who was meditating in the belly of the Xiaoyao mountain, opened his eyes slightly. His eyes flashed with cold light. All the 100,000 cultivators on the Xiaoyao mountain were shocked. They were actually 4 types of Palm Dao laws. Ning Fan's sword was actually entwined with 4 types of Palm Dao laws. Under the enhancement, he almost killed a First Tribulation Immortal Venerable with a single slash. The First Tribulation Immortal Venerable, whose Dao name was Mist Snake, who was slashed by Ning Fan, felt his heart pounding violently. He could not calm down at all. It was a matter of life and death. It was definitely a matter of life and death. If his innate ability was to turn into mist to save his life, that sword would definitely not be as simple as just injuring him. How dare you? How dare you attack and injure someone on my Xiaoyao mountain? You really don't put my Xiaoyao mountain in your eyes. After the 6 venerated beings recovered from their shock, they shouted angrily, trying to conceal the shock in their hearts. The cultivators of the Xiaoyao mountain hurriedly activated the grand formation of the mountain, swearing to keep Ning Fan here with the formation. That Xiaoyao Starry Sky formation was a grand formation that Great Emperor Chongha had spent 10,000 years to set up. Once anyone below the Immortal Emperor realm falls into the formation, almost no one would be able to walk out of it. As soon as the formation was activated, the 6 venerated beings retreated frantically, distancing themselves from Ning Fan. Then, starlight that filled the sky was attracted by the formation. Like silk, it coiled around Ning Fan and eventually formed a gigantic starry cocoon, sealing Ning Fan inside. There were 30 million Dao seals on the cocoon. How dare he injure someone on my Xiaoyao mountain? This is the consequence. His master, Wangu, is not dead yet. We can't take his life. However, we must teach him a lesson. Quickly destroy his physical body with the formation. After that, I will personally imprison his primordial spirit under the Xiaoyao mountain for 100,000 years. Just as Fan He was giving the order to punish Ning Fan, he suddenly heard a cracking sound. It was the gigantic starry cocoon that imprisoned Ning Fan. With a cracking sound, a crack appeared from the top to the bottom. At the next moment, the 30 million Dao seals on the cocoon were all broken. Ning Fan took 9 consecutive steps, directly breaking the momentum of heaven and earth, and walked out from the cocoon. This formation could not trap him. The 3 lightning mirrors are divided into heaven, earth and human. Without a doubt, the human mirror is inside your dantian. Golden light flashed and Ning Fan disappeared again. He directly appeared behind venerated mist snake and used a finger-pointing heavenly technique to freeze his physical body, preventing him from turning into mist and dissipating. Then, a Dao sword slashed down on his head. The pitiful mist snake had painstakingly cultivated his mist transformation ability for his entire life. However, all of his abilities were rendered ineffective under the heaven sealing technique. His physical body was directly split apart by Ning Fan's sword. His primordial spirit managed to forcefully break free from the heaven sealing technique and escape, but the lightning flash human mirror that he hid in his dantian was directly seized by Ning Fan. The human mirror is coming back. There are still 2 more lightning flash mirrors. Ning Fan's gaze fell on the other first tribulation immortal venerated realm. That immortal venerated realm's Dao title was Lei Yu. Under great shock, he immediately moved towards venerated Fan He. Ning Fan's speed was just too fast. The slash from the Dao sword was even sharper and unstoppable. Ordinary defenses were completely useless. Facing this young man, I must never be alone. Moreover, I must keep a distance from him. Otherwise, I will be in trouble if he sneaks up on me. While fleeing, immortal venerated Lei Yu spat out a ray of lightning light. It was unknown what it was, but it disappeared in a flash. At the same time, Ning Fan's heart was suddenly alerted. A 3-inch-long lightning nail appeared 3 feet away from the top of his head out of nowhere and pierced towards his head. This nail doesn't have enough destructive power. However, it's fast, making it hard for people to defend against it. Even an immortal king realm cultivator would not be able to block this nail if he doesn't prepare himself beforehand. Lei Yu was extremely confident in his lightning nail. However, something that shocked him soon happened. All of a sudden, a layer of golden chi wall appeared around Ning Fan's body. When the lightning nail hit the chi wall, it actually could not pierce through it at all. It could not hurt Ning Fan at all. It's a pretty good hidden weapon. Unfortunately, its destructive power is too weak. Ning Fan had only activated a small part of the God-exterminating shield to defend himself. However, the lightning nail could not break through his defense. From this, it could be seen how weak its destructive power was. Just as he was about to retaliate, another immortal venerated realm cultivator with bare arms let out a loud roar and threw a punch at him. That punch actually had the power to collapse the stars. He was a body cultivator who had the cultivation base of an eternal tribulation. Perhaps not many immortal venerated realm cultivators at the same level as him would dare to take his punch head-on. However, Ning Fan did not move at all. He directly used the golden chi wall to block that cultivator's punch. He did not budge an inch and was not damaged at all. More and more immortal venerated realm cultivators' attacks landed on his body. However, none of them could break through his golden defense. Impossible. How can this young man's defensive power be so heaven-defying? Even with the combined strength of the 6 of us, we still couldn't break through his defense. Instead, one of our physical bodies was destroyed by him. Fan He and the others were extremely shocked. While they were still in shock, Ning Fan's body was shrouded in golden light and he directly rushed towards Lei Yu. Lei Yu was greatly shocked. He turned around and ran. However, his speed was still not as fast as Ning Fan's first flash of the golden light. When the Dao sword slashed down, immortal venerated Lei Yu hurriedly evaded it. However, the Dao sword seized the opportunity and pierced through his dantian, forcefully pulling out the lightning flash mirror that was hidden in his dantian. The earth mirror was in his hands. However, the heavenly mirror was not here. Is it over there? Ning Fan ignored the attacks of the immortal venerated realm cultivators. He directly charged towards the ostentatious mountains dojo while resisting their divine abilities. He could sense that there were 2/3 tribulation immortal kings in seclusion in that dojo. One of them had the third mirror. Why would he be afraid of an immortal king realm cultivator? He even dared to fight the witch god who was a peak immortal king realm expert. Why would he be afraid of the third tribulation immortal kings here? With the god exterminating shield, he was confident that he would not be hurt by a third tribulation immortal king even if he could not display his complete form. Stop him. Don't let him rush into the dojo. Fan He and the others were extremely anxious. Unfortunately, their all-out attacks could not break through Ning Fan's golden defense at all. They could not even break through Ning Fan's basic defense. How could they have any chance of winning against him? As long as Ning Fan had sufficient magic power, he was already innately invincible, alright? How were they supposed to fight him? Rumor had it that this young man annihilated the anti-Ning alliance all by himself. The immortal venerated realm cultivators did not believe it at first. However, from the looks of it now, it was probably true. Even the 6 venerated realm cultivators could not take him down. What could the 3 venerated realm cultivators do? Without an immortal king, who could suppress this young man? The 100,000 cultivators in the dojo exclaimed in surprise. Ning Fan's aura force that descended from the sky made them lose their balance and fall to the ground. You are very arrogant and you have the right to be arrogant. However, it's useless. Before Ning Fan could rush into the dojo, a ray of blue light suddenly flashed out of the dojo and directly collided with Ning Fan who was protected by the golden light. As soon as they collided, the blue lightning power immediately surged in the sky. The lightning power condensed and turned into a short and fat cultivator who was full of muscles. After being collided with by Ning Fan, he took half a step back. Inwardly, he was shocked. What surprised him even more was that when Ning Fan hurriedly passed by him, his arm was actually cut open by Ning Fan. Even though it was not a serious injury, it was still an injury. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was forced to take tens of steps back. Luckily, he had the god exterminating shield to protect his body. Thus, he did not suffer any injuries at all. He held his Dao sword horizontally and stared at the incoming person coldly. The lightning flash heavenly mirror was inside this person's dantian. Hiss. The physical defense of the Flying Thunder Immortal King was actually broken by the Rain Lord. He is a body cultivator after all. He's unscathed. He's actually still unscathed. This Rain Lord's abilities are really strong. Even the brute force of the Flying Thunder Immortal King could not break his defense. This Rain Lord is really powerful. Could it be that he is still innately undefeatable when facing a 3 Tribulation Immortal King? The entire dojo was filled with exclamations of surprise. Some of them even faintly felt that if Great Emperor Chonghe did not take action today, no one would be able to suppress Ning Fan. After all, the remaining Immortal King who had yet to take action was slightly weaker than the Flying Thunder Immortal King. Even if the 2 kings and 6 venerated beings joined forces, after the Flying Thunder Immortal King, the second Immortal King of the Swaggering Mountain rushed out of the stone chamber and arrived at the outside world. His expression when he looked at Ning Fan was equally solemn. If there are no accidents, the 2 kings and 6 venerated beings will probably join forces to deal with Ning Fan. At this moment, a voice suddenly resounded in the air. The Rain Immortal Monarch is indeed extraordinary. Flying Thunder, step back. With your cultivation base, you won't be able to break this young man's defense. All of you, stop. It was an ancient voice that filled the starry sky in an instant. It was like heavenly thunder that rang in the ears of all the cultivators present. Then, millions of rays of gray light gathered in the starry sky. When they condensed, they turned into an elderly man who wore a conical bamboo hat and gray robes. He appeared 100 zhang away from Ning Fan. It was hard to tell whether he was happy or angry. We, the cultivators of Flamboyant Mountain, greet the ancestral master. The moment the elderly man appeared, countless cultivators of the Zhaoyao Mountain felt like they had found their backbone. They no longer feared Ning Fan and bowed respectfully to him. Even the immortal venerables and immortal kings did not dare to be negligent, and they all bowed to the old man. This old man was the master of the Beckoning Mountain, Great Emperor Chonghe. In the face of this person, even Ning Fan felt as if his breathing had become sluggish. It was his first time resisting the aura force of an immortal emperor head-on with his own cultivation base. If the god-exterminating giant was not in its complete form, it would not be able to withstand a single blow from this arch. When Ning Fan faced Great Emperor Chonghe, he personally felt the difference in their cultivation bases. An immortal emperor was not someone he could defeat. However, if he uses all his trump cards, you borrowed the lightning flash mirror but didn't return it. Flying Thunder and the others are indeed in the wrong in this matter. However, you have also injured Wuxi and Lei Yu. As the master of the Beckoning Mountain, I can't just ignore this matter. Do you know that? Take this move of mine. If you don't die, I will allow you to take the lightning flash mirror away and this matter will end here. If you die, your master, Ancient Wan, will naturally come and avenge you. His personality is very protective. You can die in peace. Great Emperor Chonghe actually did not give Ning Fan any chance to refuse. He directly raised his hand and pressed it towards Ning Fan. As soon as he pressed his hand, the entire starry sky changed day and night. Yin and Yang intertwined and reversed. Chapter 991. All of a sudden, day and night changed. Yin and Yang intertwined with each other. The weather on the 12 stars from the east was even more chaotic. The sky above the Zhaoyao Mountain became colder and colder as if winter had arrived. Moreover, the thunderous sounds of winter thunder spread across the sky. Among the thunderous sounds, there were even the sorrowful wails of the ancient apes. At this moment, countless lightning cracks appeared in the starry sky. Those cracks crisscrossed and connected with each other, forming an ancient lightning diagram under Great Emperor Chonghe's feet. Great Emperor Chonghe stood on the lightning diagram expressionlessly as if he was the Emperor of Lightning at this moment. On the Zhaoyao Mountain, everyone who cultivated lightning abilities felt their primordial spirit trembling at this moment. It was as if all the lightning cultivators in the world were insignificant in front of this lightning diagram. Their eyes were filled with fear and then, they were filled with fervor. I never knew that my ancestor actually had the ability of the Tao of Lightning. This ability is so strong. It seems like it can suppress all lightning. Rumor has it that my ancestor has studied all the abilities of the heavenly cycle Grand Emperors since ancient times. He could imitate one or two of them. This lightning diagram is quite similar to the Tai Su lightning diagram recorded in the ancient books. Could it be that my ancestor created this ability by imitating the Tai Su lightning diagram? The crowd of cultivators was not wrong. This ability of Great Emperor Chonghe was imitating the Tai Su lightning emperor and created it himself. Ning Fan was the descendant of the Tai Su lightning star. Naturally, he could feel the similarities and differences between the lightning diagram in front of him and the Tai Su lightning diagram. It was very similar. However, it was not the real Tai Su lightning diagram after all. Its power was much weaker than the original and it had many flaws. Magnetic Yin lightning seal, withdraw. Great Emperor Chonghe shouted in a deep voice. The lightning diagram under his feet immediately extended towards the starry sky where Ning Fan was. Ning Fan's eyes flickered slightly and he retreated instantly. Even though his speed was fast, the lightning diagram's attack was even faster. In just a blink of an eye, it had already reached Ning Fan's feet. All of a sudden, an indescribable suction force came from the diagram and turned into lightning rays that blotted out the sky and engulfed Ning Fan. With Great Emperor Chonghe's cultivation base, Ning Fan actually could not resist the suction force of the lightning rays and was directly sucked into the lightning diagram. Just one move was enough to subdue Ning Fan. Great Emperor Chonghe bent his palm and beckoned. The lightning diagram that filled the starry sky immediately turned into a ray of lightning and flew into his palm, turning into a 3-chi-long lightning painting scroll. Then, Great Emperor Chonghe rolled it up bit by bit. His expression was still indifferent, as if subduing Ning Fan was just a trivial matter that was not worth mentioning. The entire beckoning mountain was in an uproar. The ancestral master's move was indeed extraordinary. This was the strength of a celestial emperor, which was completely different from a celestial venerable or celestial king. Don't be fooled by how powerful the Rain Lord was. Even the 2 kings and 6 venerables couldn't subdue him. But so what? In front of a celestial emperor, he couldn't even last one move. For a moment, the entire Zhaoyao mountain was filled with cheers. However, there were also some who were worried that the ancestral master would really harm Ning Fan's life, which would bring great trouble to the mountain. Rumor has it that Lightning Emperor Tai Su's lightning diagram can turn the cultivators who are trapped in it into ashes just by retracting and releasing it. If Ancestral Master's lightning diagram imitates the Tai Su lightning diagram, I wonder if it would have such terrifying destructive power. Now that the ancient Chaos Great Emperor hasn't been eliminated, it's not wise to kill Ning Fan. However, it turned out that these people's worries were unnecessary. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths, Great Sovereign Chonghe closed his eyes slightly as if he was waiting for something. When the 12th breath arrived, he suddenly opened his eyes. At the next moment, the lightning diagram in his palm exploded into pieces with a loud bang. The entire starry sky was filled with broken lightning sparks that spread everywhere. As soon as the lightning diagram was destroyed, a ray of golden light rushed out from it and landed 100 zhang away. It was Ning Fan. Ning Fan was unscathed. The entire Zhaoyao mountain was instantly filled with the sound of people inhaling cold breaths. This young man actually managed to block one of Ancestral Master's divine abilities without suffering any damage. Is he really the immortal venerate of the ancient era? Even the Flying Thunder Immortal King can't do this, right? How can this young man be so strong? The crowd of cultivators had no idea. That imitation lightning diagram was powerful because it imitated the Tai Su lightning diagram. However, it was also its weakness. To others, once they are trapped in this diagram, it would be extremely difficult for them to get out. However, to Ning Fan, who was the successor of Tai Su, this imitation lightning diagram was full of flaws. He could easily find a weak point and use the Tai Su lightning diagram to break through it. He would absorb all the lightning power in the imitation lightning diagram and forcefully walk out from it. Without using the power of the God-vanquishing shield, Ning Fan would be able to get out from this diagram. This diagram could neither seal him nor kill him. However, there was one thing that made Ning Fan's expression turn solemn. At this moment, the lightning star on Ning Fan's glabella was constantly emitting a cold feeling. He had forcefully devoured the lightning power of the imitation lightning diagram and escaped from it. However, within the lightning power that he devoured, there was actually a trace of cold lightning that was hard to be sealed. It was emitting an extremely powerful lightning might. What kind of lightning is this? Even though there was only one trace of lightning, the lightning power it contained was nearly massive and unimaginably pure. If it is used to cultivate the yin-yang lightning technique, it would certainly be a rare item that was comparable to the true essence of the builder wood. Unfortunately, it was too little. If there were more than 100 traces of lightning, Ning Fan might really be able to cultivate the yin-yang lightning technique with this item. What surprised Ning Fan even more was that even with his Blood Tribulation Realm cultivation base and the Tai Su lightning star, he was actually unable to suppress this mere trace of lightning. There was a possibility that this lightning would break out from his glabella. This was actually a mysterious lightning that even the Tai Su lightning star could not completely suppress. He had never thought that he would be able to obtain such a mysterious yin lightning after breaking out from the suppression of Great Emperor Chongha's lightning diagram. However, at this moment, Ning Fan suddenly had a strange feeling. When he met Great Emperor Chongha's calm and unfathomable eyes, he was even more convinced of this feeling. Isn't everything too coincidental? Could it be? Great Emperor Chongha did not really want to kill him. All of this was done on purpose by Great Emperor Chongha. This emperor purposely used the imitation lightning diagram to suppress me. Is it possible that he saw through my identity as the successor of Tai Su and purposely gave me a chance to break out of the seal of this diagram? Rumor has it that Great Emperor Chongha is an expert in imitating the abilities of hundreds of sects, and he has created countless of his own abilities in his life. This imitation lightning diagram isn't his strongest ability, nor is it his usual method. However, he still used it. Rather than saying that it's a coincidence, it's more like he did it on purpose. This emperor knew that I'm the successor of Tai Su from the very beginning. I only found out after I met him. Did he purposely put this yin lightning into the lightning diagram so that I can take it away? Or perhaps, the lightning diagram was done on purpose while the yin lightning was just a coincidence. Ning Fan's mind raced and he instantly thought of several possibilities. One of them was that Great Emperor Chongha was extremely afraid of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos's ferocious reputation. That was why he did not dare to attack him. However, Ning Fan broke into the Zhaoyao mountain forcefully and disgraced the mountain. Thus, in order to save face, Great Emperor Chongha had no choice but to bite the bullet and attack Ning Fan. Even though he did it in an imposing manner, he still left Ning Fan a chance of survival and used the ability that would allow Ning Fan to break out of the seal to suppress Ning Fan. Another possibility was that Great Emperor Chongha had other plans. The lightning diagram and the yin lightning were closely linked, and he had another purpose. Ning Fan was more inclined to the latter. It was because Great Emperor Chongha's eyes were just too unfathomable. That kind of unfathomability was not because of his profound cultivation base. Instead, it was because he was shrewd. He was a great emperor of the eastern sky who was unscrupulous. Even though his cultivation base was just at the sixth tribulation realm, his eyes were filled with arrogance and overbearingness that went deep into his bones. He was not afraid of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos at all. He was an old monster who had lived from the ancient times until today. His actions were obviously overbearing. However, the fact that he could survive until today was enough to explain the problem. In this world, the ones who lived the longest were usually not those who had the highest cultivation base. However, if he could live for a long time, he must have something extraordinary about him. Reign Immortal Monarch, you are indeed extraordinary. You were able to withstand one of my attacks. From today onwards, I'm afraid that not many Immortal King Realm cultivators in the eastern sky will dare to look down on you. Flying Thunder, take out the lightning flash heavenly mirror and return it to Reign Immortal Monarch. Great Emperor Chongha ordered expressionlessly. No one could tell whether he was happy or angry. How would Flying Thunder Immortal King dare to be negligent? Even though he was reluctant to give up the lightning flash heavenly mirror, he could only grit his teeth and take it out and return it to Ning Fan. The third lightning flash mirror was now in his hands. Both Wu Shi and Lei Yu felt indignant as they were injured by Ning Fan. They wanted to ask their old ancestor to help them. However, when they saw Great Emperor Chongha's gentle gaze, they were so shocked that they did not dare to speak. That gaze was a warning. It was because he had already promised Ning Fan that if Ning Fan could withstand one of his attacks, he could take the lightning flash mirror and leave. This matter had come to an end. No one could defy his order and escalate the matter further. Everything else was trivial. Only his order was absolute. Reign sovereign, you have already achieved your goal. You should leave the flamboyant mountain as soon as possible. The cultivators of my flamboyant mountain do not welcome your arrival. Oh right, help me pass a message to ancient chaos. Just say, the tallest tree in the forest is destroyed by the wind first while the apes hide in the mountains. Hee hee. In the past, the immortal sovereign looked down on me. Now, it seems like I'm the one who has lived longer than you. The immortal sovereign's judgment seems to be a little poor. Great Emperor Chonghe chuckled. It was obviously a very calm smile, but Ning Fan could hear the sarcasm in it. Ning Fan frowned slightly. Could it be that this great Emperor Chonghe is acquainted with Great Emperor Ancient Chaos? Is he actually such an ancient figure? However, judging from his tone, this great emperor doesn't seem to have a good relationship with ancient chaos. Is the immortal sovereign that great Emperor Chonghe mentioned immortal sovereign Zido? Regarding the message, Ning Fan did not plan to be the messenger. If it's something good, he would not mind doing it. However, he would not say such sarcastic words as he was afraid that it would disgust great Emperor Ancient Chaos. Since Senior has already asked me to leave, I naturally won't stay any longer. Ning Fan's voice paused for a moment. The lightning flash mirror had already been taken back. Due to great Emperor Chonghe's strange attitude, the flamboyant mountain did not fall out with Ning Fan. This result was rather out of Ning Fan's expectation. The only thing that made Ning Fan uncomfortable was the mysterious Yin lightning on his glabella, breaking the lightning diagram and taking away the Yin lightning. For some reason, Ning Fan had a feeling that he had fallen into great Emperor Chonghe's trap. This Yin lightning is great. Even though it's not a lot, it can be used to increase the cultivation progress of the Yin-Yang lightning technique. However, if there's another scheme in this Yin lightning, during the trip to the wild wilderness, Ning Fan was schemed against by Kei Shensi and Yin Mo. It had only been 100 years, but his actions had become even more cautious. It was not that easy to scheme against him. However, before I leave, there's one thing that I must return to Senior. Ning Fan suddenly touched his glabella and drew out a Yin lightning. Then, he casually tossed it back to great Emperor Chonghe. The entire flamboyant mountain was instantly filled with astonishment. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that the Yin lightning was not an ordinary item. It was a good item. They could not understand why Ning Fan would suddenly draw out this lightning and return it to great Emperor Chonghe. Could it be that this Yin lightning was a compensation given by old devil Ning because he was afraid of the reputation of the flamboyant mountain? However, Ning Fan said that he was returning it. Could it be that this item originally belonged to great Emperor Chonghe? However, how did it end up in Ning Fan's hands? Farewell. Ning Fan cupped his fists at great Emperor Chonghe and left in a ray of golden light. Great Emperor Chonghe's expression was still indiscernible. Only after Ning Fan had left for a long time did he let out a cold sneer. What a cautious kid. If you really dare to take away this lightning, hee hee. What a pity, what a pity. Back then, ancient chaos was so cautious that he won the highest heaven Dao fruit that was supposed to belong to me and thus succeeded in his Dao. Ancient chaos is not stupid, and the disciple he has accepted is also not stupid. Forget it. Even if the origin magnetic Yin lightning can't trap this kid, there are still other opportunities. Or perhaps, I can wait a little longer and wait for that primal core realm old man to make his move and reap the benefits without doing anything. Only after leaving the eastern arrival star region did Ning Fan get rid of the feeling of being schemed against. The trip to the swaggering mountain this time could be considered as Ning Fan unveiling a small part of the mysteries of the eastern heaven sovereigns. He had seen Sen Luo fighting a group of thearchs alone and had been possessed by the eyeball monster. He had fought with Yin Mo and had even saved a large number of immortal thearchs. Unknowingly, he had become arrogant. As his horizons had broadened, he gradually started to look down on immortal thearch-ranked existences. Reality proved that even a sixth tribulation immortal emperor like great Emperor Chonghe was not to be underestimated. Immortal emperors, immortal venerables and immortal kings were already on different levels. In terms of cultivation base, Great Emperor Chonghe was only slightly stronger than a peak immortal king. However, it was just a slight difference that peak immortal kings could ignore. Even Sen Luo dared to create chaos in the Eastern Heaven and become enemies with the Eastern Heaven's emperors after he had collected the power of time from the quicksand and made sufficient preparations. I can't see through Chonghe. Forget it. I've already gotten the lightning flash mirror back. Let's return to the extreme lightning palace first. Ning Fan did not spend too much time rushing back to the extreme lightning palace. Although he had caused quite a commotion on the flamboyant mountain, it would still take some time for the news to spread in the Eastern Heaven. Therefore, when Ning Fan returned to the extreme lightning palace, Lan Xiaoqian and the other 3 women had no idea what kind of commotion he had caused on the flamboyant mountain. They only thought that Ning Fan had settled the matter peacefully according to the method they taught him. Everyone in the outside world says that Rain Lord is reckless. We were worried that you would cause trouble on the flamboyant mountain. Now, it seems like our worries are unnecessary. When it's time to be tolerant, Rain Lord is still quite good at it. Those 2 kings and 6 venerables on the flamboyant mountain must have given you a lot of grievances. I'm sorry to have made you, the dignified Rain Lord, suffer for us 4 sisters. Lan Xiaoqian and the other 4 women bowed to him with gratitude. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was at a loss for words. He did not seem to have suffered any grievances on the flamboyant mountain. Instead, he had severely injured the 2 immortal venerables, Misty Snake and Lei Yu. If he had to put a point on it, it seemed like Misty Snake and Lei Yu were the ones who suffered more grievances. With the lightning flash mirror, Palace Lord can proceed to the final step of the lightning body evolution. Of course, even with the protection of the mirror, the risk is still extremely high. The 4 women all had worried looks on their faces. As for the immortal Loli, she was eating various kinds of thunder fruits without any worries to replenish the lightning power that was constantly being consumed. Ning Fan was also a little worried about the lightning body evolution of the immortal Loli. Thus, in the following days, Ning Fan and the 4 women spent almost every day accompanying the immortal Loli in her lightning body evolution. The place where the lightning body evolution took place was the forbidden area of the extreme lightning palace, the lightning pool. The lightning pool was a forbidden area created by the founder of the extreme lightning palace. The pool was made from immortal materials from all directions. It could gather lightning and transform it into water. Therefore, the water in the pool was formed from lightning. The water in the pool that was formed from the lightning was extremely domineering. If cultivators below the immortal venerable realm were to enter the pool, they would be directly turned into ashes by the water. They could not withstand the lightning power in the water at all. This was the difference between their cultivation bases. When Lan Xiaoqian and the other 4 women entered the lightning pool, all of them had to be extremely careful. Moreover, they could not get within 1,000 zhang of the pool. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was much better. If he only relied on Jia Shui's cultivation base, he could go 500 zhang into the center of the pool. If he uses the power of the Tai Su lightning diagram, he could go 200 zhang into the center of the pool. 200 zhang was already a distance that ordinary immortal kings could not enter. With the protection of the God Exterminating Shield's golden light, Ning Fan could directly enter the center of the lightning pool without suffering any injuries. One should know that the lightning power in the center of the pool was so strong that even some 6 tribulation great emperors could not withstand it. The fact that Ning Fan could enter the center of the pool shocked the 4 women. It seemed like they had underestimated Ning Fan from the very beginning. Unfortunately, immortal Loli was even stronger than Ning Fan. When she was at her peak, she was a dignified 7 tribulation immortal emperor. Even though she had yet to grasp the throne, she had cultivated lightning throughout her life. Moreover, because of her lightning body, she dared to swallow lightning as easily as eating candy. Along the way to the center of the pool, immortal Loli did not even try to resist the lightning on purpose. Instead, she let the lightning in the pool refine her delicate skin. She entered the lightning pool naked while Ning Fan and the other 4 women were not. She took off her clothes because she wanted to take a bath and play in the pool. Father, aren't you going to take off your clothes? No. You don't need to take off your clothes to evolve your lightning body. Put them on immediately. It's not good to be naked. Ning Fan's forehead was filled with black lines. Why is it not good? Is it because father thinks that I don't look good when I'm naked? Immortal Loli pouted her little butt with a hurt expression. Ning Fan was speechless. How should he answer her? Praise my daughter's butt for being beautiful. As expected, father thinks that my butt is ugly. Immortal Loli felt even more hurt. Silence. Silence. Humph. I don't want to wear any clothes. I love to be naked. Others can't even see it even if they want to. I will show it to father. Fine. Do as you wish. You're just a little brat anyway. Hee hee. Father, do you want to see other places? Immortal Loli held her little bunny and spread her legs. If you continue to cause trouble, I will leave and let you evolve your lightning body alone. Ning Fan rubbed his forehead helplessly. Immortal Loli stuck out her tongue and finally stopped causing trouble. She was really afraid that Ning Fan would not accompany her. She would be scared if she stayed in the center of the pool alone. Because she was scared, she would do something that was out of line and attract her father's attention. This lightning pool left a bad impression on her. It seemed like she had been here many times and every time she came, she would suffer a lot of pain. Father, when my lightning body evolves and becomes stronger, I will help you beat up the bad guys. Only when she thought of this would she regain the courage to evolve her lightning body. She must become stronger. She must protect her father. All right. I will wait for Xian to help me beat up the bad guys. Ning Fan patted Immortal Loli's head and transmitted his spirit sense to the 4 girls who were 1,000 zhang away. After that, the 4 girls activated the 3 lightning mirrors to protect Immortal Loli while Ning Fan stayed close to her. Once something goes wrong, he would bring Immortal Loli out of the lightning pool. According to the 4 girls, the reason why Immortal Loli's lightning body evolved last time was because the evolution failed. She was injured by the lightning power in the pool and turned from an adult to a child. This time, with Ning Fan's protection, the situation should be much better. Thus, the long evolution of her lightning body began. The evolution lasted for 3 whole months. In the first month, everything went smoothly. In the second month, Immortal Loli's body began to turn red. She could not endure the lightning power anymore. In the third month, she failed to evolve her lightning body. The evolution of the 9 revolutions lightning body was already difficult to succeed. No one expected Immortal Loli to succeed in one try. Even though Ning Fan was already mentally prepared, his heart still tightened when he saw Immortal Loli fail the evolution with his own eyes. Her face turned pale and she vomited blood. Father, it hurts. It hurts everywhere. Ning Fan did not know what to say. He did not know how to comfort this little girl. There was not enough time for him to let his imagination run wild. As the evolution of Immortal Loli's lightning body failed, the lightning power in the entire lightning pool suddenly went berserk. With the pool as the center, a lightning storm was formed. Ning Fan and Immortal Loli were at the center of the lightning storm while Lan Xiaoqian and the other girls were outside of it. When they were blown away by the lightning storm, they immediately spurted out blood and flew out of the lightning pool. Their faces were pale. Previously, the palace lord was swept out of the Supreme Lightning Palace by this lightning storm and went missing after that. This time, even Lan Xiaoqian who was at the Eternal 7 Tribulations realm was severely injured by this lightning storm. Now that Ning Fan was at the center of the lightning storm, how could he not know how terrifying it was? I can't hold back. I can't hold back at all. Otherwise, I won't be able to withstand this lightning storm. Without saying a word, Ning Fan carried immortal Loli who was on the verge of death and transformed into the complete form of the god-exterminating giant. Then, he and immortal Loli were protected inside the giant's body. The god-exterminating giant held the shield with both of its hands and dashed forward. Like a cannonball, it forcefully rushed out of the lightning storm and out of the lightning pool. Unscathed. Lan Xiaoqian and the other girls were dumbfounded. Even a great emperor of the eternal seven tribulations realm would not be able to remain unscathed under this lightning storm. However, Ning Fan managed to do it. What kind of ability does this golden armored giant have? What a terrifying defensive power. I've never heard of it before. You guys didn't see anything today. Do you understand? Ning Fan released the golden armored giant and instructed the four girls. Obviously, he did not intend to explain more about this giant. He just looked at immortal Loli who was on the verge of death in his arms with heartache. The most difficult part of the evolution of the 9 revolutions lightning body was the 9th revolution. Even with the protection of the lightning flash mirror and Ning Fan's help, the backlash that immortal Loli received was still not light. Father, Xian wants to become stronger. I want to help you beat up the bad guys. Immortal Loli said weakly. Ning Fan fell into silence. The path of cultivation had always been filled with difficulties and dangers. Ning Fan had never thought that exchanging one's life for cultivation was wrong. After all, one must sacrifice before one could gain. One must pay before one could gain. If this happened to him, he would not feel that there was anything wrong with it. However, when he saw immortal Loli walking around the gates of hell, he found it somewhat unacceptable, thank the heavens and earth. Even though Palace Lord's evolution failed, her foundation wasn't hurt. Without the Thunder King seal, it's really rare that her foundation isn't hurt. The four girls felt extremely fortunate. However, Ning Fan's heart was still heavy. In the next few months, immortal Loli spent all her time recuperating. Every day, Ning Fan would concoct delicious pills for her. Actually, it was not accurate to say that he was concocting pills. He just coated the high-quality pills that he snatched from the pill sect with sugar syrup and made them into sugar pills. Rain Lord is really good to Palace Lord. Lan Xiaoqian and the other girls were speechless. If it wasn't for the fact that immortal Loli had no breasts and no buttocks now, the four girls would almost think that Ning Fan was being so attentive to her because of her beauty. Under Ning Fan's care, immortal Loli's injuries recovered bit by bit. Then, she entered the lightning flash pool again to undergo the evolution of her lightning body. Then, she failed again. The lightning storm that was triggered by the failure this time was actually much stronger than the previous time. Even though Ning Fan had the protection of the god-exterminating shield, he almost failed to protect immortal Loli. According to the four girls, the higher the number of failures during the evolution of the lightning body, the stronger the lightning storm that would be triggered would be. This was not something that could be failed endlessly. Unless she has the protection of the Thunder King seal, there won't be any lightning storm. What a pity. The four girls sighed bitterly. If she has the Thunder King seal, not only would she be able to evolve without any losses, but it would also greatly increase the success rate of the lightning body evolution. That was a dignified mid-grade innate magic treasure. In the entire Eastern Heaven, there were only a few of them. Unfortunately, it was actually taken away by Sun Luo, Palace Lord. It's already very rare for you to complete the first 8 revolutions of your lightning body with your own efforts. Could it be that you really can't get through the 9th revolution? Ning Fan did not interrupt them. He just quietly coated the pills with sugar syrup and gave them to immortal Loli. Another few months passed. Immortal Loli's injuries were fully healed and she entered the lightning flash pool for the 3rd time. This time, the immortal Loli walked into the lightning pool with a determined heart. Father, even though I'm young, I'm not stupid. I can feel that this might be the last time my lightning body evolves. If I fail, the lightning storm that will be triggered will be even stronger than the previous time. But I have no other choice. The evolution of the 9 revolutions lightning body is unavoidable. I will work hard to evolve. I will strive to succeed and become stronger. Then, I will help father beat up the bad guys, if I fail. Xian Xian will be reluctant to part with father. The little girl sniffled and her eyes turned red. She was afraid that she would directly die in the lightning storm this time. If she dies, she will lose her senses. If she dies, she will not have a father anymore. Don't talk nonsense. Evolve obediently. This time, you will succeed. Ning Fan patted Immortal Loli's little head in annoyance. However, his heart was heavy. 1 month passed. Everything was still going smoothly. 2 months passed. Everything was still going smoothly. Until the end of the 3rd month, everything was still going smoothly. However, at the last moment, there was another change. At that moment, Ning Fan's eyes suddenly turned blood red. He vaguely felt that he could see the heavens will at this moment. There was an ancient saying that everything depends on one's own effort. This time, there was absolutely no mistake in the evolution of her lightning body. Everything was obviously going smoothly. However, there seemed to be a pair of invisible hands that touched Immortal Loli's fate at the last moment, changing the outcome of her successful evolution. That invisible hand was none other than the Heaven's Will. The Heaven's Will would not allow Immortal Loli to successfully evolve her lightning body. Because if it was not allowed, then no matter how hard you work and how close you are to the end, the heaven would still block your path at the last moment. However, Ning Fan did not know that what he saw was not the Heaven's Will but fate. In this world, there were very few people who could see fate. This had nothing to do with cultivation level. What was needed was aptitude. Ning Fan was a cultivator at the 2nd level of the Heaven Being realm. Originally, he was qualified to see fate. Today, it was just an opportunity. Due to his anger, he saw the existence of fate. What is fate? If one's fate is exhausted, the heaven's path will be cut off and this path will never be able to continue. If one's fate is exhausted, even if one works hard for 1,000 generations, it will only lead to failure and death. If one's fate is exhausted, there is no way to reverse the situation. All of a sudden, Ning Fan recalled the words of the immortal venerables of the Zhao Yao mountain. My old ancestor has cultivated the innate Dharma eye which allows him to see fate. He said that Lan Yinxian's fate is exhausted and it is impossible for her to evolve her lightning body. You won't be able to scare us by using her as a banner. That's right. No wonder the cultivators of the Zhao Yao mountain were not afraid of the extreme lightning palace. It's because great Emperor Chonghe saw fate, because he knew that Xian Xian's evolution would definitely fail, he dared to bully her. At first, Ning Fan did not know what fate was. At this moment, he vaguely understood it. Did he see fate? He saw that Immortal Loli's future path had already been cut off by someone. She no longer had a future, without a future, she could no longer move forward. Then, she reached the end, hee. Fate, Ning Fan sneered. He carried the dying Immortal Loli and directly transformed into the giant body of the god-destroying giant. At the next moment, an overwhelming lightning storm engulfed him. This time, the power of the lightning storm was enough to severely injure a 9-tribulation immortal emperor. Even if Sha Di were to come here, he would also end up with severe injuries. Even though Ning Fan had the god-destroying shield to protect himself, it could not completely offset the power of the lightning storm. The violent wind of the lightning storm broke through the god-destroying giant's defense. Instead of attacking Ning Fan, it went straight for Immortal Loli. Despair filled Immortal Loli's eyes. When Ning Fan saw that despair, he felt as if someone was clutching his heart. What if I insist on going against the heaven's will? Today, I will protect her. In the future, I will pave a path for her future. Even the heavens will cannot stop me from doing this. I am the only one who can decide her fate. Ning Fan hugged Immortal Loli tightly with his left hand. Then, he used his right hand to touch his glabella. The Tai Su lightning diagram immediately appeared and madly absorbed the lightning storm that was attacking Immortal Loli. Devour! 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 Ning Fan's face began to turn abnormally red. A moment later, blood trickled down from the corner of his mouth. The injuries on his body became even more severe. His lightning cultivation base was not strong enough to absorb such a powerful lightning storm. His ancient god realm cultivation base was only at the early shedding void realm. The Tai Su lightning diagram was considered as a part of his ancient god realm cultivation base. Moreover, he had cultivated the yin-yang lightning diagram. It was normal for him to not have enough power. However, Ning Fan could not accept this logic. With his current cultivation base, forcefully controlling the Tai Su lightning diagram to absorb the lightning storm had already exceeded the lightning diagram's limit. More and more cracks appeared on the lightning diagram. Even the lightning star on his glabella was starting to become illusory. Ning Fan did not care about this at all. While protecting Immortal Loli with the lightning diagram, he controlled the golden-armored giant to forcefully break out of the circle of lightning storms. As soon as he broke free from the god-destroying giant, Ning Fan immediately spurted out a mouthful of blood. His chi fell rapidly and his expression was filled with a hint of unwillingness. Immortal Loli who was in his arms had already fainted. The lightning storm this time was already so terrifying. Should I try it again next time? Palace Lord. She is fine. Her foundation is not hurt. Young Master Ning, don't be sad. The four ladies comforted Ning Fan when they saw his pale expression. I'm not sad. I'm just unwilling to accept it. My strength is already here. It's fine if the heavens will doesn't help me but it still wants to obstruct me. Ning Fan, don't ask for the heavens will to be on my side. However, if the heavens will obstructs me, it's a different story. I should heal my injuries first. After that, I can't recklessly proceed with the next round of evolution. Even if I use all of my strength, I won't have the confidence to stop the next lightning storm for Immortal Loli. Should I increase my strength first? Or should I ask for help to protect Xian Xian? At night, Immortal Loli's chi finally stabilized under the care of the four ladies. Ning Fan stood alone in the night sky of the Supreme Lightning Palace. After sensing that Immortal Loli's chi had stabilized, he heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he turned to look at the sky. It was the first time in his life that he felt so cold. Everything in the world nourishes humans while humans have nothing to thank the heaven for. Ning Fan had always believed that the heaven does not owe cultivators anything. Even if the heavens will doesn't favor me, it doesn't matter. But this time, it was a different matter. The heavens will shouldn't have purposely cut off Xian Xian's path when she had just completed her evolution. Even if Xian Xian's immortal chi was depleted, it still wouldn't do. Chujiu, he dui, ji. It seems like the Rain Immortal Sovereign has encountered some trouble. If that's the case, I have the confidence to make this deal with the Rain Immortal Sovereign. The slightly gloomy voice of an elderly man suddenly resounded behind Ning Fan. The person who spoke was an elderly man in green robes. Ning Fan's eyes immediately turned solemn. An immortal emperor. Moreover, it was not an ordinary immortal emperor but a great emperor of the demon race. A great emperor of the demon race had actually come to the four heavens. If it was in the past, it would be unimaginably difficult. Now, however, the human race and the demon race had reached an agreement for the matter of the ancient passage. The war between the two races had also stopped and their grudges were temporarily put aside. Therefore, if a great emperor of the demon race really wants to come to the four heavens, there wouldn't be too many obstacles. However, it wouldn't be easy. Why is this great emperor of the demon race looking for me? Ning Fan scanned the elderly man in green robes with his spirit sense and was instantly shocked. If he did not sense wrongly, the bloodline of this emperor actually belonged to the same clan as concubine Tianlan whom he had captured previously. This is the demon emperor of the Tianlan Phoenix clan. Could it be that he has come for the 7 female phoenixes? Ning Fan's vigilance was raised to an unprecedented level. If the other party really came for this purpose, however, he mentioned the word deal in his previous words. My daughter's life is in your hands. Your daughter's life is in my hands. This old man wants to make a deal with you. The elderly man's expression became less gloomy. With a flip of his hand, he took out a purple seal that was enshrouded in lightning. This Thunder King seal is something that I have spent a great deal of effort to locate and retrieve from the depths of the Realm River. You must have it. Ning Fan's eyes widened in shock. The Thunder King seal that the Extreme Lightning Palace could not find after much effort was actually in the hands of this demon emperor. Could it be that the deal that this emperor is talking about is exchanging this Thunder King seal for my daughter? Only then did Ning Fan notice that even though the elderly man in green robes was a dignified demon emperor, his breath was weak and his chi of death soared to the sky. He could not even exert half of his cultivation base. It seemed like he was already not far from death. This emperor isn't confident that he can defeat me with his weak body. That's why he chose to make a deal with me. Ning Fan thought to himself. The elderly man in green robes seemed to be very good at reading people's expressions. He answered. It's not because I'm not strong enough that I chose to make a deal with you. It's because of this deal that I forcefully barged into the depths of the Realm River, which resulted in my severe injuries. My clan is facing a great calamity but I don't even know it. I just want to find a way out for my daughter. Even though my death is approaching, it has nothing to do with my injuries. The elderly man in green robes sighed and directly handed the Thunder King seal to Ning Fan. Ning Fan was startled. I, Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming, can calculate the heavens above and the earth below. I can calculate all the human relationships in the world. Even though you and I have never met before, I have been scheming against you for a long time. However, I didn't know that I was scheming against you. I just calculated that if my daughter wants to survive, she would need to meet a person. I don't know who that person is. I can only calculate that that person will cause an unforeseen event in the wild world. After calculating the time, I let my daughter go to the wild world. After that, she was captured by you. I have schemed against you before. I know your personality and your way of doing things. I even know some of your secrets. Seeing that Ning Fan was still on guard, Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming sighed softly. He flipped his hand and took out a wine gourd made of flames. He pulled out the stopper and drank a mouthful of wine before passing it to Ning Fan. This is the wine brewed from my father's phoenix soul fruit. There are only 100 drops of it in this world. I have always been reluctant to drink it. From now on, I will give it to you as a gift. I am just an old man who is about to die. Is it worth it for you to be so afraid of me? According to your personality, shouldn't you do something for me after taking my Thunder King seal? This person really understood Ning Fan's personality. Ning Fan frowned slightly but still kept the Thunder King seal. This person came at the right time. Just as the immortal Loli escaped from death, this person appeared right after and took out the Thunder King seal. Is everything within this person's calculations? From the moment his daughter was captured to the failure of the immortal lightning body's evolution. From Ning Fan's personality to his current location. If everything is within this person's calculations, isn't he just too terrifying? Don't worry. Even though I can divine the happenings of heaven and earth, the price I have to pay is definitely beyond your imagination. Now that my fate has been exhausted, it is one of the prices I have to pay. Besides, in the illusory dream world, there is no one who can surpass me in this aspect because what I use is not an ordinary divination technique. Have you heard of the 3 lives technique? Seeing that Ning Fan did not accept his wine, Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming drank another mouthful of wine. His eyes were filled with sorrow and worry. What he was worried about was not only his daughter but also the millions of phoenix cultivators and the living beings in the heavenly demon world. Do you know that this world will face a great calamity soon? Do you know what I have foreseen with the 3 lives technique? Ning Fan's expression did not change, but his heart was filled with surprise. The 3 life art, wasn't that the highest divine ability of the Nalan Z clan? It was a secret technique of the Purple Cuckoo race, and even among the Purple Cuckoo race's demon cultivators, not many knew of it. This Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming was from another race. How could he know it? What was the calamity of heaven and earth referring to? You don't need to look at me. I am also unable to calculate the origin of the calamity. I can only calculate one thing. This matter is related to the ancient great devil that had disappeared in the past. The 4 heavens will be isolated, and there will be a great battle in the northern heavens. I am not from the orthodox Purple Cuckoo clan. What I can calculate is not much. Ning Fan's heart skipped a beat. Why did the words of Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming sound so similar to Nalan Z's divination? I saw the future, the terrifying future. The 4 heavens will be isolated and there will be a great war in the northern heaven. After that, the Spirit King will die. He will die in the hands of the Western demonic ancestor. Ling Er, who was eaten by the Spirit King, will also die. Save Ling Er, she is my sister. She could not die. She is still waiting for me to save her. Could it be that a catastrophe was really going to befall the world? The ancient great devil. The ancient great devil. Is this related to the ancient great devil that descended upon the divine tomb and attacked the ancient chaos era? Senior, since you have given me the Thunder King seal, I wonder what do you need me to do? As long as it does not go against my principles, I will do my best. What I ask for will certainly not go against your principles. I want you to agree to 3 of my requests. With these 3 requests, I will exchange for this Thunder King seal. Of course, this old man has other benefits for you. This way, after this old man dies, I will have no regrets. Chapter 992. 3 requests, huh? If it does not violate his principles, Ning Fan was willing to agree to the 3 requests of Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming. That was his personality. He would definitely repay the kindness of others. Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming had also seen through Ning Fan's personality. That was why he took out the Thunder King seal when Immortal Loli could not hold on any longer. This seal might be of great help to the evolution of Immortal Loli's lightning body. If Ning Fan does not repay such a great favor, he would not be Ning Fan. I wonder what request Senior has. I'm all ears. The first request is that you protect my daughter well. Help her return her 7 spiritual souls to 1 and help her break through to the Immortal Emperor realm. If she likes you, you can marry her. If you don't like her, you are not allowed to touch her. When she breaks through to the Immortal Emperor realm, send her back to the Soaring Sky Phoenix clan. You must promise me this. Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming's expression was solemn. Ning Fan was slightly stunned. Doesn't Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming intend to save his daughter directly? Thinking about it, it makes sense. This Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming had painstakingly schemed to send his daughter to Ning Fan so that he could save her. Before she recovers, he naturally would not take her away. Not being able to pluck the Phoenix Maiden was a small matter. It was just one less eternal cauldron. To the current Ning Fan, it was not a big deal. The troublesome thing was that Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming also wanted Ning Fan to help his daughter break through to the Immortal Emperor realm. Senior, are you joking? I'm still far away from breaking through to the Immortal Emperor realm myself. How am I going to help your daughter? Ning Fan smiled bitterly. If you can't do it now, won't you be able to do it in the future? I'm very confident in you. You can even kill the 9th barbarian god. What else can't you do? Am I right, 10th barbarian god? Phoenix Emperor Chong Ming said with a faint smile. He even managed to predict the secret of Ning Fan killing Yin Mo and advancing to the 10th barbarian god. This man's divination technique is really heaven-defying. Senior seems to know quite a lot. Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly solemn. Don't worry, this old man has a favor to ask of you. Even if I know something, I will keep my mouth shut. This old man doesn't need you to do too much for Lon Air. I only hope that you can help her to the best of your abilities. You are her destined fire. With you around, you will be able to ignite her fate. She will definitely be able to break through to the immortal Emperor realm with your help. Phoenix Emperor Chongming sighed. Lon Air was the name of his daughter. Unfortunately, he didn't have long to live. In these few hundred years, he probably wouldn't be able to see the day his daughter became the Arch. Great Emperor Chonghe and Phoenix Emperor Chongming were both people who were good at scheming. Ning Fan did not have a good impression of Chonghe, but he did not hate Chongming. At this moment, Chongming wasn't a high and mighty demon the Arch. He was just a father who cared about his daughter. The first request isn't difficult. I agree to it, Senior. Ning Fan sighed with emotion. It was a pity that all parents cared about their children. Even an immortal emperor couldn't avoid this. Good, with these words from you, Rain Lord, this old man can rest assured. My second request is for you, Rain Lord, to make a promise. What promise? If the last bit of the bloodline of the Phoenix clan is about to disappear one day, I hope that Rain Lord can lend a hand and protect a part of the bloodline. I don't need to protect all of them. As long as the bloodline of the Phoenix clan can continue, it will be enough. Phoenix Emperor Chongming's eyes were filled with worry. That worry was not only because he was worried about his daughter but also the future of the Phoenix clan. The Phoenix clan is a first-rate true spirit clan. It won't be to the point where its bloodline will disappear, right? Ning Fan said. Hee. Who can tell what will happen in the future? Even if it's the result of my deduction, it might not necessarily be unchangeable. It's just one of the changes that will happen in the future. Just tell me if you agree to my request or not. Ning Fan pondered for a while and finally nodded his head. This is also not difficult. If the bloodline of the Phoenix clan really goes extinct one day, I dare not say that I can protect the entire Phoenix clan, but I can still protect a part of the cultivators of the clan. If that's the case, this old man has one more wish fulfilled. Phoenix Emperor Chongming nodded his head in satisfaction. After remaining silent for a while, he continued. My third request is to ask for a treasure from little friend. What treasure? Yin Yang Square Seal. Ning Fan was stunned. Then, he immediately guessed Phoenix Emperor Chongming's intention. That Yin Yang Square Seal was a magic treasure that Taoist Mu Song had painstakingly refined. In order to refine this treasure, he had once killed 4 dragons and 4 phoenixes and used the souls of 8 demon emperors to create this seal. One of the 4 phoenixes that Taoist Mu Song killed was an old friend of mine. That old friend brought this upon himself. Therefore, I don't blame Mu Song for killing her. However, I still want to ask for this seal and bring it back to the Phoenix clan. After that, I will bury the souls of the 4 Phoenix emperors sealed within it so that my old friend can rest in peace. In the past, when this seal was in Mu Song's hands, I didn't dare to go to the Wooden Island to ask for it as a member of a foreign race. Now that this seal is in your hands, it's much easier for me to ask for it. Ning Fan hesitated for a moment. This Yin Yang Square Seal was currently his strongest offensive magic treasure. It was just a step away from advancing to the innate mid-grade. If he gives it to Phoenix Emperor Chongming, his combat power would certainly be greatly reduced. However, Ning Fan's hesitation only lasted for a moment. In the end, he nodded and handed the seal to Phoenix Emperor Chongming. Phoenix Emperor Chongming had even given him the innate mid-grade Thunder King seal. If he was reluctant to give up an innate magic treasure that had yet to reach the innate mid-grade, it would be rather petty of him. Little friend, thank you for giving me this seal. A seal for a seal. A woman for a woman. Everything is destined in the unseen world. It's the will of the heavens. Phoenix Emperor Chongming was filled with emotions. His expression was filled with indescribable loneliness. He removed his storage pouch and directly handed it to Ning Fan. There were not many things inside the storage pouch. Instead, it was filled with some medicinal herbs that were at least 1,000,000 years old. There were even 4 tufts of innate spiritual herbs. Great Soul Ganoderma, Spirit Mending Leaf, 17 Phoenix Blood Vine, Spirit Extending Purple Wood. Ning Fan's eyes flickered. All of these 4 tufts of innate spiritual herbs were actually soul-nourishing spiritual herbs. According to my deduction, in order to help Lan Er's 7 souls return to 1, I will need at least 7 different types of innate soul-nourishing spiritual herbs. Besides, I will also need a second-level heavenly being realm cultivator to save her. Unfortunately, connate spirit herbs were hard to come by, and soul-nourishing spirit herbs were even rarer. I have traveled all over the heaven demon realm, and I have only found these 4 types. The remaining 3 types should be found in the extreme Dan sacred region. I am the demon race great emperor, and being able to enter the eastern heaven is also the limit. The eastern heaven emperors will not allow me to go to the extreme Dan sacred region. If that's the case, I'll have to trouble you to search for the herbs. I'll give this treasure to you. Phoenix Monarch Chongming took out a purple compass and passed it to Ning Fan. There were 3 eyes drawn on the surface of the compass. Indistinctly, it gave off an innate prestige. This is? Ning Fan asked. This is the treasure-searching compass refined by this old man. It is a Xiantian low-grade treasure. Although it has no offensive or defensive power, it is good at tracking and searching. With this item, it will be much more convenient for little friend to search for medicine in the extreme Dan sacred region. After that, Phoenix Emperor Chongming explained the usage of the treasure-searching compass to Ning Fan in detail. He spoke very seriously, which showed how much importance he attached to the search for the medicine. However, his expression was a little desolate, as if he was regretting that he could not save his daughter with his own hands. I'll give you a few more things before I leave. I've already spent quite some time in the eastern heaven. I can't stay any longer. If I stay any longer, some of the great eastern heaven sovereigns will be dissatisfied. Senior, don't you want to meet your daughter? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. It's better if I don't meet her. I don't want her to see me in this lifeless state. Phoenix Monarch Chongming sighed. Senior is an immortal emperor. Even though your injuries are severe, can't they be healed? Ning Fan voiced out the doubt in his heart. It's not difficult to heal my injuries. However, my life force has run out. This is the real cause of my death. If one's life force runs out, is there really no way to save them? Ning Fan's heart felt heavy. Xian's life force has run out. If he insists on saving her, can he succeed? Even though he has obtained the Thunder King seal, some people can still be saved even when their life force runs out. It's just like a candle that has been extinguished. As long as the method is right, it can be reignited. However, there are some people who cannot be saved because they have used up their life force. They only have themselves to blame. They have sacrificed the candle itself. I am one of them. The Palace Lord of the Extreme Lightning Palace isn't one of them. Thus, she can still be saved. You don't have to worry about this. Finding the Thunder King seal is an opportunity for her life force to reverse. Something like life force was too mysterious. Even though Phoenix Monarch Chongming was an expert in this, he could not explain it to Ning Fan in just a few words. He was not a member of the Purple Cuckoo clan, but he chose to cultivate the Purple Cuckoo bloodline and learn the 3 lives technique. Thus, he had violated the first taboo. The 3 lives technique only gave him 3 chances to perform divination. He had already used up all of them and violated the second taboo. His life force did not run out by himself. Instead, it was because he had made a deal with the heavens. He lost the candle and did not have the qualification to reignite it. In this case, even the blood of the 9 raccoon could not save cultivators like him. I have been pursuing the great Tao of divination for my entire life. Because of this, I have violated the taboo time and time again. If I die because of this, I won't feel the slightest bit of regret in my heart. Because this is originally an equivalent exchange, there is no way to save my life force. Death is inevitable. From the first time I made a deal with the heavens, I was already prepared for it. Thus, I don't have any dissatisfaction. However, I also have my reverse phoenix bloodline. I won't be willing to die peacefully. If I die, I will certainly die with a bang so that I won't let down the phoenix bloodline. If there is really a great calamity of heaven and earth, I will continue to hold on until that day comes. If the heavens want to take my life, they can do so. However, I have to decide the method of my death myself. Phoenix monarch Chong Ming's eyes were filled with arrogance. That was the pride that belonged to the Phoenix clan. I have drunk 20 drops of the Phoenix soul wine in this gourd. It is enough for me to hold on for a few more years. The remaining 80 drops belong to you. With this item, you, the descendant of ancient chaos, will be able to cultivate the bloodline of the Phoenix clan that is above the ancestral bloodline. You will also have a slight chance of awakening the strongest innate ability of the Phoenix clan. The strongest ability of the Phoenix clan was the Phoenix's nirvana. It was an extremely powerful undying ability. Ning Fan was greatly moved. Could these mere 80 drops of Phoenix soul wine help him cultivate the ancestral bloodline of the Phoenix clan? He even has a chance of awakening the innate ability of the Phoenix clan's Phoenix's nirvana. Don't look down on this wine. It is brewed from the Phoenix soul fruit of the Wutong tree that my father left behind after countless generations of Phoenix cultivators died. In my Phoenix clan, this Phoenix soul wine represents the inheritance of the bloodline. It is no small matter. You must not look down on this wine. Phoenix monarch Chong Ming's expression was solemn. It was a solemn look that no one would dare to look down on their ancestors. Take it. Phoenix monarch Chong Ming passed the burning gourd of wine to Ning Fan. This time, Ning Fan did not decline and accepted the wine. He agreed to 3 of Phoenix monarch Chong Ming's requests and also took away the 3 benefits including the Thunder King seal. As such, he no longer owed Phoenix monarch Chong Ming anything. Throughout history, only the men of the Phoenix clan can drink this wine. If it is not because of this, I will certainly leave this wine for my daughter. After you obtain this wine, you will certainly be able to cultivate the Phoenix bloodline. You will also have karma with my Phoenix clan. Of course, this wine also has another great benefit for you. You will know about it in the future. As the 2 parties of the transaction, you and I have already formed karma with each other. However, as a senior of the Phoenix clan, I have the obligation to give you some pointers. Let me tell you about my experience in divining heaven and earth for many years. When a person is walking on the road, how many li can be covered in 2 hours and how many hours it will take for them to reach their destination. Deduction, on the other hand, is different. It doesn't need to calculate these things. Instead, it needs to calculate those variables, those accidents. It's like when this person will stop, when he will leave, when will it be auspicious, when will it be inauspicious, 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 when will it be inauspicious. The changes in the world are all controlled by the will of heaven. The so-called divination is actually to figure out the will of heaven. Heaven's will is like the wind. It has no form, no body, no trace, no root, and no duckweed. But even the wind has a sound, and there are things that can be analyzed. The wind rises without a sound, it makes a sound when it meets something. The sound of something is loud, the sound of something is loud, the sound of something is soft. There is resistance and there is resistance, there is silence when there is no obstruction, and the response is calm. This is the sound of the wind. Little friend, do you know the meaning of the word phoenix? Our Phoenix clan is going to add another stroke to the wind of the will of the heavens. We are going against the will of the heavens to change the will of the heavens. Because it was disobedient, it became a phoenix. Because of this, even though the ancient phoenix knew that it was about to run out of luck, it still wanted to enter the flames to undergo nirvana. What it sought was the chance to be reborn in the flames. What it sought was that if there was no way out, it would defy the heavens one last time. It vowed to fight for its luck against the heavens one more time. Do you know that at the place where the phoenix dies, if its blood splashes the sky, a parasol tree will surely grow? Have you seen the heroic death of a real phoenix? Have you seen the unyielding will of the parasol tree that grows from the blazing flames? Have you heard of the funeral song of the Phoenix clan? The phoenix soars in the 9 heavens. It will not perch unless it is a parasol. The demon battles against the mortal world. It will not obey unless it is its master. It is willing to be buried in the blazing flames. It would rather die than obey. It will sing angrily to the heavens and become a sovereign in the next life. Phoenix Emperor Chongming's voice was old and hoarse. Singing the funeral song of the Phoenix clan gave people a desolate and tragic feeling. When the song ended, Phoenix Emperor Chongming suddenly cupped his fists and bowed to Ningfan. Even though I have made 3 requests, I still have my own selfish motives. I care about the Phoenix clan and the soul of my old friend. However, what I care about more is my daughter. I will entrust my daughter to you. Ningfan, remember what you have promised me. This bow actually gave Ningfan a feeling that he was entrusting his daughter to him. Then, he turned around and left. The funeral song of the Phoenix clan was still echoing in the night. Phoenix Emperor Chongming walked further and further away in the darkness. Gradually, his figure could not be seen anymore. When the wind blew, his white hair became a little messy. In the end, he did not go to see his daughter. One reason was that he did not want her to see him being severely injured and dying. The other reason was that he did not know what to say to his daughter. How many years had it been since he had a proper conversation with his daughter? He could not remember clearly. It seemed that ever since Lan Er's mother passed away, he had been putting on a stern face forever. Occasionally, the words that he said to her were all stern reprimands. Father, I want to rest today. I don't want to cultivate, no. But today is the anniversary of my mother's death. As a cultivator, we should abandon our personal feelings and seek the Tao of heaven. Every time a cultivator goes into seclusion, it would usually last for hundreds or thousands of years. If we celebrate the anniversary of the deceased every year, how can we continue cultivating? Yes. Lan Er understands, Father, the aura force of this Phoenix Chi mountain is too heavy. Lan Er can't walk anymore. Can you carry me on your back? No. As the next Phoenix consort Tian Lan, if you can't even endure this little bit of hardship, how can you become outstanding? But, no buts. Yes. Lan Er understands, Father, I want to, no. This is too dangerous. Father, no. This woman is not a kind person. You can't befriend her anymore. Father. Yes. Lan Er understands. Phoenix Emperor Chongming walked to the riverside of the Eastern Heaven realm. His face looked older and older. It seemed like he had been too strict with his daughter in these years. Now that he left, would there be no chance for him to redeem himself? He just stood at the side of the realm river. He climbed the river and then went to the shore. He hesitated and looked around. In the end, he let out a sigh and walked to the realm river and left. Above the night sky of the extreme lightning palace, Ningfan withdrew his rain intent. He already knew that Phoenix Emperor Chongming had really left. The realm river is the boundary that separates the 4 heavens' immortal worlds. It is also the only way to get to the heavenly demon world through the red penetrating passageway. Rumor has it that countless ferocious foreign races are lurking in the depths of the Realm River. Even immortal emperors who enter the depths of the Realm River recklessly will most likely die. In the past, the Thunder King's seal was snatched by Sun Luo. However, no one knows how it ended up in the depths of the Realm River. This Phoenix Emperor Chongming must have gone through countless bloody battles all the way to the depths of the Realm River in search of the Thunder King's seal. I have indeed received the Thunder King's seal. I will take good care of your daughter for you. In a flash, Ning Fan entered the profound eastern world and arrived at the Palace of Repentance. He then released the 7 consorts of Tianlan. You. Why did you suddenly let me go? The 7 ladies were a little scared and answered at the same time. Could it be that Ning Fan had changed his mind and decided not to cure them and was going to pluck them directly? Don't worry. I have made some promises with your father. I won't do anything to you anymore. From today onwards, you are no longer my human cauldron. Instead, you are my guest. After I fulfill my promise with your father, I will send you back to the Tianlan Phoenix clan in one piece. However, before I fulfill my promise, I hope you can behave yourself and don't cause me any trouble. I still can't remove the restriction on your body for the time being because I still can't trust you. Therefore, I will seal your cultivation base for the next few days. However, I won't restrict your daily life. I hope you can understand this. The 7 ladies' faces turned slightly pale. They said bitterly. So it turns out that father has been here. No wonder you suddenly changed your attitude towards us. I didn't expect that father actually didn't save us directly but made a promise with you instead. Sure enough, he must have decided to abandon us because he thinks that we have embarrassed the Tianlan Phoenix clan. Abandon? Ning Fan shook his head. He took out a blank jade slip and recorded the scene where he met Phoenix Emperor Chongming on it. He only deleted some of the parts that were related to his secrets. You can take a look at the specific content of the promise. Before I help you return your 7 souls to 1, you will temporarily stay in the profound eastern world. Ning Fan arranged the residences of the 7 ladies in the profound world and was about to leave. At this moment, the 7 ladies suddenly called out to him at the same time. What's the matter? Ning Fan halted his footsteps and asked. My name is Qi Yilan. Since you have made a promise with my father, the grudges between us in the past will be written off. Before I leave, I will listen to you obediently and won't cause you any trouble. That's good. Ning Fan left the profound eastern world and went straight to the western world. He entered a Millennium Tower to enter seclusion. In the transaction with Phoenix Emperor Chongming, he lost the Yin-Yang 4-sided seal but obtained the Thunder King seal, the treasure-searching compass and 80 drops of Phoenix Soul Wine. The reason why Ning Fan entered this Millennium Tower was naturally to refine the Phoenix Soul Wine. Judging from Phoenix Emperor Chongming's tone, this Phoenix Soul Wine must have a great origin. However, Ning Fan would only know how great it was after he personally tasted it. Hence, 1,000 years passed in the Millennium Tower with a flick of a finger. When Ning Fan walked out of the Millennium Tower once again, his cultivation base had greatly changed. His other cultivation bases remained the same. Only his ancient demon cultivation base had risen all the way to the peak of the early shedding void realm. He was just short of the heart tribulation and he would be able to break through to the mid-shedding void realm. In his left eye, there was an additional star. It was the star of demon Yin-Yang. He had already cultivated it within 1,000 years. Phoenix Yin-Yang. Because of the Phoenix Soul Wine, the ancestral blood of the demon race in his body had directly produced a drop of the ancestral blood of the Phoenix clan. It could be said that his bloodline had improved tremendously. The Phoenix clan was good at controlling fire. After cultivating the bloodline of the Phoenix clan, Ning Fan's ability to control fire immediately increased tremendously. The lord position of the Phoenix clan was similar to fire but it was different from the pure fire position. It was not as upright and majestic. Instead, It gave people a strange and ever-changing feeling. However, what Ning Fan did not expect was that with the power of the Phoenix Soul Wine, he actually awakened the strongest innate ability of the Phoenix clan, Phoenix Nirvana. However, the Phoenix Nirvana that he awakened seemed to be a little different from other Phoenix cultivators. When other Phoenix cultivators underwent Phoenix Nirvana, the color of their flames were mostly brilliant. However, Ning Fan's entire body was covered in black flames. Not only did the black flames contain the innate abilities of the Phoenix clan, but it also contained the power of the undying bloodline and the Black Star technique. It was because of this that it was black. To you, there is another great benefit of this wine. You will know about it in the future. Phoenix Emperor Chongming's words resounded in Ning Fan's ears again. Could it be that the great benefit that Phoenix Emperor Chongming mentioned refers to the new ability that was formed by fusing the Phoenix Nirvana, the undying bloodline and the Black Star technique together? Feeling the Phoenix Nirvana that was formed by the fusion of the three abilities, Ning Fan's expression changed greatly. His current physical body's self-healing ability was rather terrifying. The injuries caused by the attacks of the cultivators in the void-shedding world could heal themselves almost instantly and be reborn in the blazing flames. In the past, when Ning Fan's undying bloodline awakened, he had the thought of fusing the undying bloodline and the Black Star technique into a new ability. He did not expect that after the transaction with Phoenix Emperor Chongming, he would unintentionally accomplish this and it would be even more perfect. It was not the fusion of two abilities but three. If he cultivates the Phoenix clan's Nirvana ability to a higher level, if he cultivates the undying bloodline and the Black Star technique to a higher level, the recovery ability of this technique would be even stronger. In that case, I should really thank Chongming for giving me the Phoenix Soul Wine. However, I wonder why the undying Great Emperor, the ancestral Phoenix and the Heavenly Sovereign didn't use the Phoenix Soul Wine to fuse their abilities and make them stronger. Or perhaps, only cultivators at the yin-yang transformation realm like me can achieve this. The truth was just as Ning Fan had guessed. If it were other cultivators, it would be impossible for them to fuse three types of abilities even if they had the Phoenix Soul Wine. Only cultivators at the yin-yang transformation realm who were born with an all-encompassing nature and the help of the Phoenix Soul Wine could achieve this. Besides, not only would they need to cultivate the yin-yang transformation realm and the chaotic loop arc, they would also need the help of the yin-yang locket. Otherwise, they would definitely not be able to fuse the different abilities into one. Now that I have the Thunder King seal in my hands, the evolution of Xian Xian's lightning body should be much smoother. Ning Fan walked out of the profound Yin world. In the next few months, the immortal Loli recovered from her injuries while Lan Xiaoqian and the other women were filled with joy. They were busy preparing for the next evolution of their lightning body. The four women did not expect that Ning Fan would actually be able to find the Thunder King seal that had been missing for many years. One should know that even the 1,000-yen Great Emperor of the Eastern Sky who was the best in divination could not find the whereabouts of the Thunder King seal in the past. How did Ning Fan find the Thunder King seal? It's really unbelievable. The four women asked Ning Fan but he only smiled without answering them. Finally, the immortal Loli's injuries were completely healed. She was obviously very nervous about the next evolution of her lightning body. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was not nervous at all. He could see that after the Thunder King seal was found, the immortal Loli's fate had returned. Fate was really something that was hard to grasp. It was just like the heavens will that Great Emperor Chongming mentioned and the howling of the wind. As expected, the evolution of her lightning body was exceptionally smooth this time. In the end, she succeeded. The immortal Loli's naked body was growing bit by bit in front of Ning Fan's eyes. She was getting more and more voluptuous. A naked woman with silver hair fluttering in the wind stood up from the lightning pool and opened her eyes. Half of her beautiful eyes were blank and the other half were complicated. Besides that, there was also an aura force that was as vast as the starry sky. It was a powerful aura field that only belonged to an eternal seven tribulation immortal emperor. When she noticed Ning Fan who was standing beside her, her flawless face suddenly flushed red. Her eyes, however, were unprecedentedly distant. Damn it! Why am I not wearing any clothes? Why am I naked in front of a strange man? No. It's not a strange man. He's very familiar. If it wasn't for this familiar feeling that seeped into her bones, it's impossible for her to stand naked in front of him so calmly. Shouldn't my first reaction be to scream? Shouldn't I be embarrassed and angry? Shouldn't I be wearing my clothes immediately? Why am I so used to it? More and more memories emerged in her mind like tidal waves. All of them were her calling the man in front of her father. She, the dignified white emperor, the dignified Lan Yunxian, actually acknowledged a father when she lost her memories. But why didn't she reject him? But this isn't right. She's the palace lord of the extreme lightning palace. She's the face of the 3000 lightning realm. I can't call him that anymore. However, at this moment, even more memories filled up her mind. The scenes in the 3000 lightning realm. The scenes in the desolate world. When her primordial spirit was captured in the desolate world, it was this man who risked his life to save her. When her lightning body evolved, this man risked his life again and again to bring her out of the lightning storm in the lightning pool. He even roared at the heavens because her fate was exhausted. What if I have to go against the heavens' will? Today, I want to protect her. In the future, I want to pave a path for her future. Even the heavens cannot stop me from doing this. I am the only one who can decide her fate. More and more memories emerged in her mind. It would be a lie if Lan Yunxian said that she was not touched. However, now that she had regained her memories, she was no longer the immortal lowly with a lively personality. She really could not call Ning Fan father. What shocked her was that she actually did not reject being naked in front of Ning Fan. A part of her personality was still that of an immortal lowly. It's just that, she had become more mature. I think I should put on my clothes first. Even though she was not shy at all. Lan Yunxian waved her palm and the surrounding lightning power instantly turned into a light bathrobe, covering her body. She tried her best to be indifferent and distant. She tried her best to tell Ning Fan that she was no longer an immortal lowly. Young Master Ning, I want to talk to you, she wanted to say that. Why did the words come out of her mouth so easily? Father, I want to hug you. Ning Fan was stunned and could not react in time. Lan Xiaoqian and the other women were also stunned. Why would the cold and aloof palace lord say such childish words? Could it be that she had not regained her memories? Lan Yunxian really wanted to eat her own tongue. After becoming an immortal lowly for such a long time, all the bits and pieces of her life with Ning Fan had already melted into her bones. The immortal lowly had said this kind of nonsense many times in the past. Now, it was really difficult to change her words. Young Master Ning, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. Lan Yunxian explained apologetically. Her apology made Ning Fan sigh even more. Sure enough, Lan Yunxian who had regained her memories was no longer the naked little girl who was mischievous in the past. She had become estranged from him. This was also normal. He and Lan Yunxian had been in contact for 100 years. However, Lan Yunxian was someone who had lived for millions of years. A mere 100 years of memories was just a drop of water in the long river of her life. In the past, Ning Fan was everything to the immortal lowly. He was her father and the heavens. Today, he was just a drop in the long river of countless lives. From today onwards, there would no longer be an immortal lowly who would jump around and pester him in his life. It's all right. I've finished my business in the Extreme Lightning Palace. It's time for me to leave. Palace Lord Lan, after the evolution of your lightning body, remember to go into seclusion. These pills. Ning Fan wanted to take some pills for Lan Yunxian. After he took them out, he realized that all the high-grade pills in his hands were coated with syrup. It seems like I can't give them to others anymore, forget it. Go into seclusion. I'm leaving. Ning Fan sighed and turned around to leave the extreme lightning palace. Lan Yinxian's heart ached. She did not know why, but when she saw Ning Fan's lonely back, she actually felt like crying. However, she still could not call out, "Father, don't go." In the end, Palace Lord Lan Xiaoqian and the others did not know what to say. "I want some peace and quiet." Lan Yunxian took a gentle breath and suppressed the various emotions in her heart. She must calm down. The current her was not like her past self at all. The four ladies left. She was still in seclusion in the lightning pool. Ning Fan did not take the Thunder King seal with him but left it to her. The surroundings were quiet. Unknowingly, she recalled the carefree days when she was with Ning Fan. She could not calm down at all. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was extremely calm. After all, before he sent the immortal lowly back, he was already mentally prepared. Besides, the current Lan Yunxian obviously still cared about him very much. It was just that she could not cross the threshold and could not call him father. It was already not bad. At least he did not turn against Lan Yunxian. At the very least, he still had some feelings for her. Why did I pick up such a little girl in the past? Ning Fan sighed with emotion. The scenes of them being together for 100 years replayed in front of his eyes. They were so close yet so far away. Forget it. I won't think about it anymore. It's not like me to think too much. Very quickly, Ning Fan found a new thing that he could do to relieve his current complicated and tangled feelings. Old Wu's bottle seems to be almost repaired. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curved into a playful smile. Let's use the Old Wu 8 powder to relieve my boredom. Eastern Heaven, Water Curtain Star. The Shui family was one of the super forces in Eastern Heaven. The old ancestor of the Shui family was one of the immortal kings of Eastern Heaven. As it was an immortal king force, no one dared to provoke the Shui family. However, recently, it was said that a wretched cultivator with small eyes had extorted money from the Shui family. This was a top-notch news. Outside the Water Curtain City, a wretched old man in black robes sat on the ground and leaned against the huge stone pillar at the city gate. He did not mind the dirt on the ground. He was using his chopsticks to knock on a broken bowl while singing happily. The cultivators who passed by pointed at the black-robed old man, but he did not care. Occasionally, there would be a few lackeys of the Shui family who wanted to chase the black-robed old man away. What was strange was that before they could get close to him, they would fall to the ground one after another. This was just too strange. As a cultivator, the probability of falling while walking should be close to zero even if it was not zero. How could there be so many people who could not even get close to the black-robed old man and fell to the ground one after another? This man's cultivation base is unfathomable. His divine abilities are strange and hard to defend against. The cultivators of the Shui family were fearful of the black-robed old man. The black-robed old man snorted coldly. He did not do anything at all right. It was these people who could not resist their bad luck. They could not blame him. It will be the minor heavenly tribulation of the old ancestor of the Shui family in another 10 days or so. To an immortal king, a minor heavenly tribulation would not kill them. However, if he was here. Achoo. Old Wu suddenly sneezed. He had a bad premonition. He looked around suspiciously and finally heaved a sigh of relief. I am really too paranoid. It is impossible for that malefic star to appear at the last moment when I am about to fix the drowned world bottle. I am too paranoid. I must be too paranoid. Let's continue singing. Old Wu continued to hit the broken bowl happily and sang. Inside the broken bowl, an ugly but adorable little turtle rolled around happily, matching Old Wu's rhythm. A passerby pointed at Old Wu and suddenly, his magic power got stuck. He had actually suffered from chi deviation. A burly man cursed Old Wu in a low voice. Suddenly, he bit his tongue and blood filled his mouth. A beautiful woman rolled her eyes at Old Wu. A gust of wind blew her skirt up high, causing many cultivators to stare at her with wide eyes. There were even more bizarre things happening on the Water Curtain planet. The Water Curtain Immortal King really could not sit still anymore. These days, the closer he was to the minor heavenly tribulation, the more he felt like he was suffering from chi deviation. This feeling was too strange. He was a dignified immortal king. How could he suffer from chi deviation during a minor heavenly tribulation? Could it be that the legend was true? The legend of the Black Fate sect, that damned turtle bastard sect, that cultivator with the surname Wu still wants the empty spirit supreme water bead? Did he say anything else? Water Curtain Immortal King sighed helplessly. Could it be that this time, he really had to spend money to avoid this disaster? Damned turtle bastard sect. Chapter 993. Hearing Water Curtain Immortal King's question, the people below were a little scared. They answered hesitantly. Replying to old ancestor, that Wu cultivator's appetite is even bigger this time. Not only does he want the empty supreme water bead, he also wants, what? It had only been a few days, how could he increase the price? What else does he want before he is willing to leave Water Curtain Star? Water Curtain Immortal Monarch was enraged. He also wants 3 trillion Tao Crystal S. He said that he helped my Shui family watch the city gate for 3 days in Water Curtain City, so he can't watch it for nothing. 1 trillion a day, and he also said that the longer the ancestor drags it out, the more money he will ask for. He can afford it, but the Shui family might not be able to afford it, and the ancestor's heavenly tribulation might not be able to afford it either. Bang! Water Curtain Immortal Monarch laughed in anger. 1 trillion a day to look at the city gate. What a joke! Was this old Wu's net worth that high? Did he think he was a sage to be? Even if he was a quasi-sage, he wouldn't ask for so many Tao crystals to guard the door. Did they really think that their Shui family was easy to bully? Men, go to the Tao spring. Take my water-splitting god-perishing halberd. This halberd should be almost fully repaired. This tortoise doesn't want to leave. Fine, I'll beat him until he leaves. People say that the inheritor of black luck cannot be killed, and that killing him is inauspicious. Humph, this old man wants to see if this inheritor of black luck can be killed or not. The people below trembled even more. I'm afraid we can't do this. There's a mistake in the process of repairing the water-splitting divine halberd. We can't use it for the time being. What? Water Curtain Immortal Monarch was shocked. The water-splitting god-perishing halberd was a 12th Nirvana magic treasure that he had refined for many years. Because of the previous battle, the magic treasure's spirit was slightly damaged, so he handed it over to his servants to repair. But that was only a small damage, and it was extremely easy to repair. All they needed to do was place it in the Taoist spring to nourish the artifact's spirit. They didn't need to do anything else. How could there be any mistakes in such a simple repair process? Old ancestor, you might not know this, but just yesterday, the earth veins of the Water Curtain Star suddenly changed. The turbid gas that has been accumulating underground has surged out and polluted the Tao spring. It has worsened the injuries of the divine halberd of water splitting and is on the verge of dissipating. If this treasure is not repaired, I'm afraid it can't be used anymore. Hiss. Water Curtain Immortal Monarch was shocked. It was such a coincidence that the earth veins changed once in a million years. How could it happen when he was repairing his magic treasure? Then, take my immortal water bow. I want to kill that tortoise. Water Curtain Immortal King ordered again. I'm afraid it won't work either. I don't know why the bowstring of the immortal water bow was broken. The servants could only tremble. What? The bowstring of the immortal water bow was forged from the tendons of a horned dragon. It was impervious to fire and water, and almost invulnerable to blades and swords. Why did it suddenly break? Did someone sneak into the treasury and destroy the bowstring? Water Curtain Immortal Monarch was enraged. I'm innocent, Patriarch. A weapon refinement master has already examined it. That bowstring just happened to run out of durability and it broke on its own. It's not our fault. Are you kidding me? The bowstring was broken early or late. As soon as Brother Wu arrived, it snapped. Don't use coincidence to brush me off. I don't believe it. Even though Water Curtain Immortal Monarch was still shouting angrily, she was actually a little afraid in her heart. Uncanny, too uncanny. As soon as Brother Wu arrived, everything went awry for him. He could not use two magical treasures in a row. Suddenly, a group of Shui clan's cultivators rushed into the hall. They were here to report some news to Water Curtain Immortal Monarch. Report. Guest Elder Lu Shernan was injured by a falling meteorite. Patriarch, please give him some medicine to save his life. Report. Fourth Elder encountered a starry sky storm on his way back to Shui clan. He is now severely injured and on the verge of death. Patriarch, please use the clan's secret medicine to save him. Report. The ancient giant statue of the Water King Hall that has never been damaged has collapsed mysteriously. Report. The Water Curtain Star's core is unstable. It is in danger of collapsing. Patriarch, please relocate the star as soon as possible. We need to find a new land for our clan. Report. Enough. Water Curtain Immortal Monarch smashed the table and let out a long sigh. He believed it. He believed the legend. If he didn't drive Brother Wu away, his magic treasures would be destroyed by accident, his subordinates would be killed by accident, and even his lair would be destroyed. More importantly, his minor heavenly tribulation would arrive in 10 days. If it was before, he would never believe that his minor heavenly tribulation would cause chi deviation. But now, he believed it. If he did not chase Brother Wu away or make an enemy of him, he would lose a layer of skin in the next minor heavenly tribulation even if he did not die. The legend said that the Black Fate sect could not be talked about or provoked. The legend said that it was not good to offend the descendant of the Black Fate sect. If you killed the descendant of the Black Fate sect, you would be haunted by the Black Fate sect's dark luck and be cursed for life. Legend, someone, take the Void Spirit Supreme Water Pearl and 3 trillion Dao crystals and give them to Brother Wu. Ask him to leave the Water Curtain Star as soon as possible. Thus, Brother Wu left the Water Curtain Star happily with the things he had extorted. Strangely enough, after he left, the Water Curtain Star returned to normal. The stars no longer collapsed, the earth no longer cracked, and the earth veins returned to normal. The cultivators of the Shui clan who were plagued by bad luck got rid of their bad luck one after another. Hee hee. How dare you fight with me, Brother Wu? Why don't you measure your own luck first? Ever since this poor Taoist entered the world, other than Ning Fan that fiend, I have never been afraid of anyone below the quasi-saint realm. This Water Curtain Immortal Monarch could not even withstand 30% of my bad luck. Weak. Too weak. If I use 100% of my bad luck, wouldn't this grandson kneel down and beg for mercy? Brother Wu was in a good mood. Vast Ocean Sect, Long River Sect, Wild Goose Sect of Mo Star, Shui clan of Water Curtain Star. In just 3 years, he had already blackmailed tens of Eastern Sky forces. In the past 3 years, he had plundered all the sects in Eastern Sky. Not only did he gather the materials to repair the flooded world bottle, he also obtained a lot of benefits. The days without the restraint of the fiend was really blissful. He missed the free and unrestrained days in the past. Unfortunately, that kind of free and unrestrained life was gone forever. It was better for him to accept his fate and obediently become Ning Fan's slave. Anyway, being a slave was not without its benefits. Brother Wu was open-minded about this point. Ever since I acknowledged the fiend as my master, I don't know why, but I can actually control my bad luck more and more freely. In the past, wherever I go, there will be bad luck. Now, only when I want someone to be unlucky, that person will be unlucky. Thanks to the fiend, the progress of my cultivation method is also incomparable to the past. In the past, it was extremely difficult to open the chi aperture, but now, I succeed one after another. In the past, I would need to fail hundreds and thousands of times to break through a bottleneck. Now, it is extremely easy for me to break through dozens of bottlenecks. Master once said that when things reach an extreme, they will move in the opposite direction. For cultivators with bad luck like me, if we can find a turning point in our lives, we can turn misfortune into fortune and become a first-class lucky star in the world. Now, it seems like this old devil Ning is definitely the turning point in my life. Hee. According to the current cultivation speed, I am afraid it will not take long before I can touch the bottleneck of the second eternal tribulation. Hee, following the fiend's life is actually not bad. Brother Wu secretly made a plan. Once he repaired the water flood bottle and took away the thing sealed inside, he would bring the bottle back to the fiend. With his current cultivation speed, he was confident that he could cultivate all the way to the immortal emperor realm if he followed the fiend for tens of thousands of years. Speaking of which, the materials to repair the bottle were already gathered. It was time to find a place to repair the bottle. Brother Wu took out the treasure-searching turtle and set a direction. Then, he sped through countless galaxies and arrived outside a blue cultivation planet. This planet was called the Water Demon Planet. It was a cultivation planet where rogue cultivators gathered. There were not many cultivators on the planet. Most of them were water cultivators who had crossed the starry sky to cultivate on this planet. Brother Wu had calculated that the water vein of this water demon planet was quite good. It was a suitable place to repair the bottle. The process of repairing the water flood bottle would absorb all the water origin energy of the entire cultivation planet. After repairing the water flood bottle, the water demon planet would most likely become a wasted planet. However, this was not something that Brother Wu was concerned about. Within 100 breaths, all the cultivators on this planet are to scram out of this planet. This lowly Taoist wants this planet. Brother Wu lazily dug his nose. His voice was filled with ancient pressure, but it spread across the entire water demon planet. This caused all the cultivators on the planet to feel fear. At this moment, the expressions of all the cultivators on the water demon planet changed. Those who were in closed-door cultivation rushed out, those who were refining treasures put away their treasure embryos, and those who were refining pills put away their pill furnaces. They all quickly packed up and escaped from the water demon planet. Did they dare to not leave? Didn't they hear that an ancient celestial sovereign had come to steal this planet? That was an ancient celestial sovereign. Any one of his spells could instantly slaughter all life on the water demon planet. With such a person coming to steal the water demon planet, who would dare to resist? Who would dare to not leave? It had only been 100 breaths of time, and the large water demon planet was empty. All the rogue cultivators that came to cultivate had left through the starry sky. Brother Wu blew off his nose and landed on the water demon planet. He found the best location for the water vein and began humming as he began to take things one by one. All the things he took were rare celestial materials that could be used to repair the water flood bottle. The pleasant repair process began. For a month, the out-of-tune singing on the water demon planet did not stop. A month later, the spirit chi on the water demon planet was exhausted, and it became a wasted planet. The rare celestial materials that Brother Wu had plundered were also used up. Brother Wu held the water flood bottle carefully and couldn't bear to part with it. A month ago, this bottle was still damaged. A month later, this bottle regained its connate might, and aqua-blue spirit chi kept coming out, causing the surrounding world to be filled with the salty taste of the sea breeze. After the repair, the appearance of this bottle still looked like a suet jade bottle. There were no changes. Only 3 water droplet-shaped runes appeared on the bottle. Brother Wu caressed the 3 water droplet-shaped runes on the bottle, and he couldn't stop smiling. Middle grade connate magic treasure, the water flood bottle. The famous treasure of the third ancient demon ancestor, the Water Flood Emperor. Now, it was in the hands of Brother Wu. Rumor had it that a sea was sealed inside the water flood bottle. The sea water was inexhaustible, and any drop of the sea water had the weight of a mountain. Rumor had it that during the era of the Demon Conferral Summit, an ancient demon rebelled and gathered 7 immortal emperors in an attempt to compete with the Demon Conferral Summit. In that battle, the Water Flood Emperor went to the rebellious realm alone, summoned the sea water from the bottle, and sealed the heavens and locked the earth, drowning all living beings in the world, including the 7 immortal emperors. This battle made the water flood bottle famous. It was said that even a demi-saint would have to avoid the full power of this vase. Of course, it wasn't easy to unleash the full power of this vase. One would have to take a huge risk, which was also the greatest limitation of this vase. Thinking of the huge risk of using this bottle, Brother Wu felt his scalp go numb. He did not have the fortune to enjoy this bottle. It was better to let the fiend use it. I, Brother Wu, am the most loyal servant in the world. After obtaining a middle-grade connate magic treasure, the first thing I thought of was to give it to my master. This loyalty is as bright as the sun and the moon. That Luo Shi might be a loyal servant, but compared to me, Brother Wu, he is still lacking. Sigh, little friend Luo Shi, you still have a lot to learn. Brother Wu murmured to himself in an extremely narcissistic manner. Master, Master, I have already given you the bottle. Just give the little thing sealed in the bottle to me. You have such high standards. How could you possibly take a fancy to such a little thing? It's not that I'm not loyal, it's just that I don't need to ask for your opinion. Sigh, this is how loyal I am. Once I receive this item and refine it into my Tao weapon, I will increase my strength and repay my master well. The eternal reign of the defying mortal sea, Brother Wu licked his lips. His master, Ancestor Black Luck, had told him a story before. Outside the illusory world, there were 3 great true worlds. One of them was called the defying mortal world. In the defying mortal world, there was another domain surrounded by the sea. It used to be the North Star Celestial Domain and the North Star Celestial Domain. However, they were conquered by one person and merged into the Purple Dipper Immortal Domain. The Purple Dipper Immortal Domain was the hometown of the cultivators of the illusory world. The sea surrounding the Purple Dipper Immortal Domain was the defying mortal sea, which was famous in the 3 realms. A drop of seawater from the defying mortal sea was as heavy as a mountain. There was a beast in the sea called Blue. Anyone who tried to take away the seawater from the defying mortal sea would be attacked by Blue. Unless one was a saint, they did not have the strength to take away the seawater from the defying mortal sea. However, the flooding emperor, who was at the second step, somehow managed to take a huge amount of seawater from the defying mortal sea and refine it into a bottle. It was the flooding world bottle. The seawater sealed in the bottle was the seawater of the defying mortal sea. According to the legends, the seawater of the defying mortal sea would evaporate once every 30 million years. The seawater would vaporize and return to the heavens. After 3 days, it would turn into rain and fall back to the ground, forming the sea again. There would also be a small number of raindrops that would stay in the sky forever and would never fall back into the sea. The cultivators of the true world called those raindrops the eternal inextinguishable rain. They were the supreme immortal materials used by water elemental cultivators to refine Tao soldiers. The value of those raindrops was so high that it was enough for saints to fight for them. Brother Wu did not dare to drown the flooding world bottle and he had no intention of betraying Ning Fan. However, he was determined to get the eternal inextinguishable rain in the bottle. Water is the softest thing in the world. However, when things reach an extreme, they will move in the opposite direction. When the softness reaches the extreme, it will become the toughest thing in the world. The eternal inextinguishable rain is the product of the softness and toughness of the seawater of the defying mortal sea. It is heavier than ordinary seawater. A single drop of it is comparable to the weight of a cultivation planet. If it is refined into a Tao soldier, it will greatly increase the might of the Tao soldier. This isn't something that the heavenly Tao purple chi can compare with. The Tao of the flooding great emperor was completed in the ancient times. However, he obtained the defying mortal sea and refined the flooding bottle much later. He did not have the flooding bottle for a long time. Thus, he only managed to witness the time when the seawater in the bottle turned into rain once. He did not have the chance to witness the next time 30 million years later. After the Devil Conferral Summit was destroyed, the ninth ancestor was suppressed under the 9 mountains. The bottle was destroyed during the battle and its whereabouts are unknown. Legend has it that the flooding great emperor obtained a drop of eternal inextinguishable rain from the bottle sea during the only time he experienced the transformation of seawater into rain in his life. However, a drop of eternal inextinguishable rain could greatly increase the might of the Tao soldier. If it is fully activated, the Tao soldier can even release a trace of samsara power. That power has already surpassed the second step. It has been 150 million years since the Battle of Treasures was destroyed. It is enough for the bottle sea to experience the transformation of seawater into rain 5 times. 5 times the transformation of seawater into rain. If a drop of eternal inextinguishable rain would be born every time the sea transformed into rain, there should be 5 drops in this bottle. Of course, it was not certain that the eternal inextinguishable rain would be born every time the sea transformed into rain. It was also not that only 1 drop could be born at a time. It was hard to say whether there was any eternal inextinguishable rain in this bottle and how many drops there were. We will know about this when I open the magical treasure space of the flooding bottle. Master, Master, let the loyal Wu Xiaoba take away the eternal inextinguishable rain for you. Old Wu smiled wretchedly. He held the bottle with one hand and performed a finger seal with the other. Old Wu did not find it strange when he saw a blood light flying out from the bottle. It was as if he had already expected it. He withdrew and looked at the blood light with vigilance. The blood light fell on the ground. It shook and turned into an illusory red-faced old man. He was wearing a green robe and golden armor. The aura of an ancient devil was exceptionally terrifying. He was actually an ancient devil with the cultivation of a peak immortal king. You have sensed this old man's existence. The red-faced old man narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Old Wu with deep fear. After seeing that Old Wu was only an eternal tribulation cultivator, he snorted disdainfully. Old Wu laughed strangely. My family's treasure-searching turtle is gifted. Even if I don't open the space of the flooding bottle, even if you haven't said a word, I know that you are hiding in this bottle. If this poor Taoist guessed correctly, you should be a divine clone of the drowning water emperor. Yes, this old man is the 11th divine clone of the drowning water emperor. During the great calamity of the Demon Conferral Summit, this old man's main body was suppressed, but many of my divine clones fled in all directions. Most of them were destroyed. Only this one, because it hid in the flooding bottle, was not detected by the great paragon Zhangqing. You can think of me as the drowning water divine clone, or you can think of me as the drowning water emperor. This old man is very curious. With your eternal tribulation cultivation, how did you have the ability to repair the destroyed flooding bottle? Forget it, I will kill you and search your memory. Naturally, I will know everything. Unexpectedly, even without the blood-sucking technique, this old man can still walk out of this bottle. Since you have released this old man will give you a quick death. The red-faced old man smiled coldly. Then, like a gust of wind, he rushed towards Old Wu. Old Wu laughed even more strangely. He knew that with the rumored ruthless character of the drowning water emperor, even if he let him out, the drowning water emperor would not return the favor. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Old Wu's plan was to kill the drowning water emperor's divine clone first and then enter the bottle world to collect the eternal rain. Even though you are a peak immortal king, you are on the verge of death because you have been trapped for many years. Even though I am just an eternal tribulation cultivator, my abilities are not as weak as you think. Bang! Bang! That in a split second, old Wu and the red-faced old man had already exchanged a few blows. He actually did not fall into a disadvantageous position. After all, that red-faced old man had been trapped for too many years. He could only display 10 to 20% of his cultivation base. Old Wu could still fight him to a draw. However, after old Wu transformed into his eternal true form, he actually gained the upper hand. This made the red-faced old man's heart turn gloomy. Countless galaxies away, Ning Fan stood on an abandoned star with a playful smile on his face. Everything that happened on the Water Devil star could not escape from his heaven-peering rain technique. The drowning Water Emperor, Ning Fan stepped on a golden ray of light and left the abandoned star. Some cultivators who passed by this place were startled by the traveling light. Their expressions changed drastically. 10,000 ancient immortal sovereigns. Chapter 994. The battle between Brother Wu and the red-faced old man lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. The two of them battled from the Water Devil star to the ancient Sea star and then to the Cloud Dao star. The two withered stars. One by one, the cultivation stars were destroyed by the shockwaves from their battle. The battle of immortal venerables was extremely powerful, and it naturally alarmed many eastern sky old monsters in the nearby starry sky. However, the strange thing was that not many people were willing to watch this world-shaking battle. Those with low cultivation naturally did not dare to linger near the battle of immortal venerables, for fear of being drawn into it and losing their lives. When those with higher cultivation saw that it was old Wu here, they were shocked and didn't dare to stay. They all quickly retreated. Only the heavens knew that in a short 3 years, old Wu's reputation in the entire eastern sky had become so bad that there were very few people in the eastern sky who didn't know of the legend of the Turtle King sect. Of course, everyone normally kept it a secret. No one was willing to mention this unlucky sect for fear of attracting bad luck. There were also a small number of old freaks who didn't know what was going on and didn't want to leave. They chose to stay and watch the battle. However, all of them met with accidents. They either encountered a meteor shower or a starry sky storm. In short, none of them had a good ending. Scene 1. Hiss. It's actually a battle between immortal venerables. Let's quickly go and take a look. Who knows, we might be able to pick up a broken piece of a magic treasure. To us, it's also a supreme immortal material. Fellow Taoist, please wait. If this old man didn't sense wrongly, one of these two immortal venerables is the immortal venerable surnamed Wu who has caused chaos in Eastern Heaven in recent years. 2 years ago, I personally saw the Wild Goose immortal king of Mo planet suffer a great loss in the hands of this person, but he still humbly apologized to this person. You and I must not get close to this starry sky. This revered immortal Wu is truly evil and terrifying. This old man's words are definitely not false. Once we get close to this place, it's very likely that many things will happen to us. Fellow Taoist must be joking. I'm just here to watch the battle. What bad things can I encounter? As he spoke, a starry sky storm that only appeared once in 100,000 years blew over and directly engulfed this cultivator who didn't believe in the heresy. Not even his remains were left. Scene 2. Ancestor. Near the water demon star, there was a strange phenomenon of water light soaring into the sky. It was very likely that a water element treasure had appeared. Should we go and snatch this treasure? Go, why not go? How can we miss such a precious treasure? Halfway there, they suddenly sensed the soaring aura that old Wu Ba was intentionally or unintentionally releasing. Turn back. Turn back now. He couldn't get involved in this mess. It was Brother Wu's aura. It was the descendant of that Turtle King sect. We can't take anything that has passed through his hands. If we do, we'll be in deep trouble. Polylore Immortal Sect was a good example. Leave now. Scene 3. Ancestor. after passing through the water demon star in front of us and passing through another 12-star realms, we'll arrive at our destination. This aura is, wait. Pass down this old man's order, immediately change the route. He couldn't go any further in this starry sky. We'll change our route to the Grand Yen Star Ocean. Now. All the cultivators were shocked. May I ask, old ancestor, why did you suddenly change your route? Is it because of the fluctuations from the battle ahead? Although the battle between immortal venerables is strong, old ancestor is a dignified immortal king. Why are you so afraid of this battle? Sigh, all of you have been in seclusion for too long and have just come out. You might not know this, but there's a saying in the Eastern Heaven, if a turtle king blocks the road, even an immortal king will lose a layer of skin. Even an immortal king like me will have to retreat if I meet that turtle king. Don't provoke a turtle with words and don't provoke a thief with martial arts. All of you must remember this saying. In the end, it was clearly an earth-shattering battle between immortal venerables, but because old Wuba had deliberately released his aura, not many people were watching and no one dared to take advantage of the situation. This was the effect that old Wuba wanted. According to his understanding, the flooding Great Emperor was proficient in a blood-sucking and spirit-damaging technique. If he sucked human blood, he could greatly heal his injuries and restore his cultivation base. What old Wuba wanted to do was to drive away all the cultivators in this place, leaving no one for the red-faced old man to devour. This was also the reason why the red-faced old man felt the most aggrieved. He had a heaven-defying blood technique, but he didn't have human blood to use. His combat strength wasn't good to begin with, and now, he was 30% weaker for no reason. Pine. Another head-on collision. Old Wuba's million-foot tortoise body directly knocked the red-faced old man back, causing him to vomit blood. Then, he laughed loudly, his laughter incomparably smug. This is the 1056th time this poor Taoist has sent you flying. Weak, too weak. The flooding divine clone is just so. You dare to fight with me, old Wuba? Hee, so what if you are the ancient emperor's divine clone? Watch this poor Taoist kill the ancient emperor today. Pine. Old Wuba sent the red-faced old man flying for the 1057th time. The 1058th time, the 1059th time, the red-faced old man was brutally knocked away by old Wuba again and again. He had already been besieged for many years and was on the verge of death. Now that he had experienced 3 days of bitter battle, his injuries had worsened. His divine clone was on the verge of collapse, and he was not far from death. The red-faced old man was unwilling to accept this. He was the 11th divine clone of the flooding Great Emperor. Although he wasn't the flooding Great Emperor himself, he had the cultivation of a peak immortal king at his peak. If not for the fact that he had been besieged for many years and was too weak, how could he be suppressed by a mere first tribulation immortal venerable? If there was someone to drink, he would not have ended up like this. The troublesome thing was that there was not a single living person in this place. Occasionally, there would be a living person, but all of them had met with misfortune and met with misfortune, hateful. Hateful. If this old man was at his peak, how could I allow a lowly person like you to succeed? Killing a first tribulation immortal venerable like you would be as easy as killing a dog. The red-faced old man roared angrily. Brag, brag with all your might. If you have the ability, come and kill this poor Taoist. Woof, woof, woof. Old Wuba sent the red-faced old man flying for the 1297th time. Gradually, half of the red-faced old man's body collapsed, and his expression was ferocious and terrifying. Junior. Since you know that I am a flooding divine clone, you should know that if you kill me, one day when this old man's true body escapes, the first person I will pursue will be your dog's life. If you know what's good for you, let go of this old man's divine clone and hand over the flooding world bottle. Then, this old man can let bygones be bygones. The red-faced old man really had no other way. He had no choice but to threaten old Wu. The surrounding starry sky had been sealed by old Wu's strange dark luck divine ability. There was no way to escape. If he fought, he would not be able to win with his dying body. Bang! What responded to the red-faced old man was old Wu Ba's 1298th collision. Then, it was old Wu Ba's laughter that was getting more and more arrogant. You want to threaten me? If you have the guts, then crawl out from the third mountain. What bullshit flooding emperor? How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? If you piss me off, I'll go to the ancient demon's lock and live under the third mountain. I'll make you drown under the third mountain. As he laughed, he sent the red-faced old man flying for dozens of times. The 1300th collision, the 1400th collision, the 1500th collision, the 1600th collision, no matter how strong the red-faced old man was, he could not hold on any longer. On the fourth day, he was finally killed by old Wu Ba. Just you wait. Today's karma will be settled in the future. This was the red-faced old man's last threat before he died. His voice was filled with crazed killing intent. Old Wu Ba withdrew from his ancient true body and spat in disdain. He knew how to say such words when he was 3 years old. It was useless. Looking back at the past, old Wu Ba, if you don't let me touch your butt, just you wait. I will beat you to death when I grow up. His neighbor's sister, Xiao Wan, wow, Dad, baby tiger wants to touch my butt. He will beat me when he grows up. The result of his words was that old Wu Ba was beaten up by his neighbor's father and then by his own father. Later on, when he grew up, his parents and his neighbors had all turned into ashes. He was the only one who was immortal and had a long life as an immortal. Too much nonsense. Old Wu Ba was not afraid of the words and saw through some of the red-faced old man's thoughts. This kind of words could not scare a real fiendish cultivator. The only purpose was to make people think that the person who spoke was really dead and let down their guard. In fact, the battle was not over yet. Trying to play tricks on me? Hee, you found the wrong target. Old Wu Ba took out the treasure-searching turtle and set a position. He opened his mouth and shot a black light towards that direction, hitting a place in the starry sky where there was no one. Strangely enough, as soon as the black light hit that place, a mist of blood exploded out of thin air, followed by a shrill scream. It was the voice of the red-faced old man. This time, the red-faced old man was truly dead. After working hard for 4 days, I finally killed this old thing. What bullshit drowning the divine sense. In my eyes, it is not as scary as a hair of the fiend. It is time to enter the bottle world and collect the eternal rain. Master, Master, wait until I collect this item and increase my strength. I will definitely repay you well. Who asked me, old Wu Ba, to be the most loyal servant in the world? Old Wu Ba found an abandoned planet to land. Just as he was about to enter the bottle world, he suddenly shivered and turned around. When he turned around, 2 out of the 3 souls in old Wu Ba's body were scared out of their wits. The bottle in his hand nearly fell to the ground. His heart was beating wildly. The figure of a white-robed young man fell into his sight. Master. Why are you here? The person standing behind old Wu Ba was none other than Ning Fan. Intercepted. This was a blatant interception. Old Wu Ba was very intelligent. His beady eyes turned and he instantly understood the key point. How could he not know that Ning Fan had already planned this beforehand? Ning Fan had purposely waited for him to fix the bottle and kill Shui. Then, he would wait for him to finish all the hard work before coming to pluck the fruits of his labor, reaping the benefits without doing anything. How could old Wu Ba not be angry? He was more than just angry. He was so angry that he was gnashing his teeth. If it wasn't because the other party was Ning Fan, he would have already cursed out loud. Motherfucker. It had always been him, old Wu Ba, who schemed and tricked others. Today, the tables had turned. He was intercepted by someone else and the fruits of his labor were plucked. This malefic star was indeed despicable and despicable. He thought that he was already despicable and shameless enough. However, this malefic star still managed to trick him. Wasn't this even more despicable and shameless? However, this malefic star was the only person in the world who could restrain his dark luck. He was a ruthless person who had killed a quasi-saint expert on the wooden island. Moreover, he had the life soul of old Wu Ba which could decide his life and death with just a thought. Even if old Wu Ba had the urge to curse Ning Fan's mother, he did not dare to utter a single word at this moment. Compared to anger, he was more afraid of Ning Fan. If old Wu Ba was to say that there was a vile person in his heart who was angry, dissatisfied and scolding Ning Fan for plucking the fruits of his labor, then there were 99,999 vile people who were feeling guilty, fearful and anxious as if their parents had died. They were thinking about how to give Ning Fan a reasonable explanation so that they could deceive the heavens and get through this crisis. Does this malefic star know that I'm plotting against the eternal rain behind his back? No, he can't possibly know. But what if he knows? This malefic star has always been cruel and merciless. Will he destroy my little life in a fit of anger? Old Wu Ba was trembling. In the face of the countless forces of eastern sky, old Wu Ba had never trembled. In the face of the drowning consciousness, old Wu Ba had never trembled. In the face of Ning Fan at this moment, old Wu Ba could not help but tremble. He could not help but feel terrified. The result of being terrified was that among the 100,000 vile people in his heart, the only one who was angry would also be sacrificed gloriously. All the vile people obediently kneeled in a row and sang praises to Ning Fan 3 times. Sigh, he still prayed that the malefic star did not know the truth. Otherwise, with the malefic star's cruel and merciless personality, it was very likely that he would directly kill him. Otherwise, why would old Wu Ba be a smooth and slick person? Seeing that Ning Fan's expression was still relatively bright, old Wu Ba's heart relaxed. The matter of monopolizing the eternal rain should not have been exposed yet. Otherwise, the malefic star would not have a good expression. Thus, old Wu Ba's small eyes turned and he had a countermeasure. He did not handle this matter properly. If he was compared to the officials of the mortal dynasties, he would be a corrupt official. He was audacious enough to covet the silver of the Mo Emperor's family. If he really coveted it, according to the law, he should be killed. But fortunately, he did not have the time to covet it. Old Wu Ba felt very lucky. He did not have the time to covet the eternal rain and Ning Fan came. This was a good thing. Because of this, there was still room for change in this matter. At most, it could be considered as an unsuccessful attempt. Moreover, the malefic star did not seem to know about this attempt. This bottle, has it been repaired? Let me have a look. Ning Fan said with a seemingly ordinary smile. Old Wu Ba was even more convinced of his guess. His spirit was lifted. He held the world-flooded bottle with both of his hands, bowed and respectfully presented it to Ning Fan, acting like he was the most loyal servant under the heavens. After gathering his emotions for a while, he immediately said in a tearful voice. Master, you may not know this, but in the past 3 years, this lowly one has traveled all over the entire eastern heaven. I have visited more than 40 eastern heaven forces. Countless times, I have endured humiliation and humbled myself in order to get all the materials needed to repair this bottle. The hardships and grievances I experienced are not worth mentioning to outsiders. This lowly one even faced several life and death crises. I was wantonly bullied and humiliated by those eastern heaven immortal venerables and immortal kings. There were several times when this lowly one almost could not hold on anymore. For the sake of my dignity, I decided to give up on repairing this bottle. I gave up on the loyalty that has always been persisting and has not changed until now. However, every time I wanted to give up, I would think of Master's smiling face, think of Master's earnest expectations, and think of this lowly one's once heaven-shaking loyalty. Thus, little 8 had the strength to grit his teeth again and again. Again and again, with tears in his eyes, he continued to beg those Eastern Heaven forces. Finally, I got the immortal materials and cultivation treasures one by one. Old Wu made it sound so pitiful. Those who did not know him would really think that the process of him searching for the materials to repair the bottle was extremely arduous and he had suffered all kinds of grievances. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth twitched. He had personally witnessed Old Wu's cheerful appearance on the water curtain planet. He sang songs, blocked the door and uttered ruthless words. As long as there were immortal materials to be obtained, there would be 3 trillion Tao crystals to be obtained. Who had wronged him? Who bullied this fellow? It was clearly this fellow who had bullied countless forces in the Eastern Heaven. The ones who should be wronged are those Eastern Heaven forces, right? Seeing that Ning Fan was not touched at all, Old Wu lamented that Ning Fan's heart was made of iron and stone. As expected, his heart was as ruthless as a knife. At the same time, he changed his strategy. Instead of complaining, he began to take credit. If he wanted to take credit, of course, he had to say it in the opposite way. This was Old Wu's wisdom in life. This lowly one has gone through untold hardships to repair this world-flooding bottle. It's not for Master's reward. Instead, it's for my loyalty and hot-bloodedness, Old Wu thought to himself. I have already said it like this. If this malefic star still does not give me a reward, it would be a little too stingy. You don't want a reward? Old Wu was tongue-tied. Should he say that he really wanted a reward? Did he want to directly take away the eternal inextinguishable rain? Since you don't want it, I will not force you. As for the reward, forget it. Old Wu wanted to pull out his own tongue. Why did he say such ironic words? Don't you know that you can't say ironic words to an honest person? This malefic star will take it seriously. Master, actually. This lowly one does not reject Master's reward. What this lowly one wants is not the reward itself, but the supreme glory behind it. If Master feels apologetic and really wants to bestow something to this lowly one is willing to accept it. However, this lowly one wants to choose a reward myself. Old Wu secretly observed Ning Fan's expression. However, he saw Ning Fan's smile suddenly disappear at this moment. His eyes flashed with a cold light. What reward do you want? Is it the world-flooding bottle, the defying earth sea in the bottle, or the eternal inextinguishable rain? Not good. This malefic star actually knew all of it. He really knew that he wanted to monopolize the eternal inextinguishable rain. Old Wu was astonished. That gaze was too cold and too frightening. The moment they met, Old Wu felt a chill from the soles of his feet straight to the top of his head. His heart was beating wildly, and he had a feeling that a great calamity was about to befall him. Calamity. My plot has been exposed. The malefic star is angry. With his personality of not tolerating sand in his eyes, he will not let me off easily. Old Wu thought that he could deceive Ning Fan when he saw the smile on Ning Fan's face. Now, it seems like this malefic star has already known everything. There is no possibility of deceiving him. Master, little 8 doesn't want the reward anymore. Little 8 is wrong, little 8 knows his mistake. Little 8 shouldn't have been blinded by lard and tried to covet Master's eternal inextinguishable reign. Master, please give little 8 a chance. Little 8 will definitely turn over a new leaf. Old Wu knelt on the ground with a thump, his body trembling. The coldness in Ning Fan's eyes became even more intense. His real intention was to scare Old Wu. That coldness was also fake. This Old Wu really needed a beating. As a slave, he dared to covet his master's treasure. If it was according to Ning Fan's previous style, he would absolutely not give Old Wu a chance to live. But who wanted Old Wu to have a karmic relationship with the old monster? Just based on this point, as long as Old Wu didn't touch Ning Fan's bottom line, Ning Fan would not kill him. This time, even though old Wu had the idea of monopolizing the eternal inextinguishable rain, he didn't have the intention to betray him. He was still firm on the big picture. Ning Fan slightly sighed. He didn't want to make the old monster disappointed. So, if he wanted to pursue this matter, at most, he would only punish this guy a little. Beating him was necessary. Ning Fan didn't need this old Wu to be loyal and devoted, but he wanted him to understand what he could do and what he couldn't. Ning Fan had taken in quite a number of slaves in his journey to where he was today. Most of them were devil lords who had committed heinous crimes. Towards these heinous, cunning devils, could you ask for true loyalty? Of course not. Therefore, Ning Fan never asked for true loyalty even to Earth Devil and Iron Crow. He always gave them candy and whips. On one hand, he showed them kindness, but on the other hand, he threatened them with his life soul. Only in this way could he make those devils not dare to act rashly and never have the intention to betray him. It was the same for old Wu. Usually, he was still polite to old Wu. When old Wu was injured, he also gave him pills. He didn't mistreat old Wu and didn't order him around. And, he did it. Today, he wanted to let old Wu understand his prestige. He wanted to let old Wu see what would happen if he betrayed his master. Ning Fan flipped his hand and took out old Wu's life soul. Old Wu's face turned pale. If Ning Fan crushed this life soul, he would certainly die. There was no way he could survive. His life was hanging by a thread. It all depended on how Ning Fan would deal with it. Master, I was wrong. I really know that I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. I really won't dare to do it in the future. 4 trillion Tao crystals. The 4 trillion Tao crystals that I plundered will all be given to Master. There are also pills, Tao fruits and various spiritual herbs and immortal materials. All of them will be given to Master. I won't dare to be greedy anymore. Master, please spare my life. This bastard actually plundered so many Tao crystals. Moreover, it only took him 3 years. Ning Fan could not help but be moved. This old Wu could definitely be a good assistant. With this guy, if he really wants to establish a sect, he would not lack logistical support. Moreover, he could use his dark luck to intimidate countless enemies who come to invade his sect. He could even set fire to the backyard of countless enemies. Old Wu sharply caught the instantaneous change in Ning Fan's expression. In his understanding, it was the value of his existence that moved Ning Fan. Thus, there was a chance for him to survive. He could not imagine that Ning Fan never had the intention to kill him from the beginning until the end. Ning Fan was just trying to scare him, Master. From today onwards, if you need any cultivation materials, just tell Little 8. Little 8 will certainly help you get them even if I have to go through water and tread on fire. Whatever orders Master has, Little 8 will certainly do his best to complete them. If you fancy any girl, Little 8. Little 8 will help you sit in front of their house. If she doesn't obey, Little 8 will destroy her sect. What kind of nonsense is this? Does he, Ning Fan, look like that kind of person who bullies others and tyrannizes women? Sigh. To be honest, he is really an evil person who bullies others and tyrannizes women. Ning Fan reflected on himself. It seems like he has done quite a lot of such things. Master, Little 8 is very useful to you. It's very useful. Killing me is like killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. Is killing the goose that lays the golden eggs supposed to be used like this? How could Ning Fan not know this? Are you bullying me because I'm uncultured? Forget it. I've acted enough. Ning Fan really did not want to see old Wu crying and babbling nonsense anymore. After scaring old Wu for a while, Ning Fan pretended to be cold and tough. Remember what you said. This is your last chance. There will be no next time. After scaring old Wu for a while, Ning Fan's mood, which was originally tangled because of the immortal lowly, inexplicably became better. He kind of understood Tantai Weiyu. A black-bellied person might really be able to feel joy from the pain of others. From Ning Fan's point of view, this old Wu had really made a small contribution to him. Old Wu shed tears of joy. The fiend was willing to let him live. This is really great. What eternal rain! What bottle of water drowning the world! None of them could compare to the joy of escaping from death. Great sorrow was followed by great joy. In his excitement, old Wu unexpectedly opened another chi aperture. Oh my! It's the benefit of following the fiend again. I'm really too lucky. Old Wu felt ashamed and ashamed. Look at what I've done. I've continuously obtained benefits from the fiend and improved my cultivation base. However, I still have the audacity to covet the fiend's eternal reign. It's really an act of returning kindness with enmity. It's the behavior of a despicable person. It's not just shameless. It's really shameless. It's totally tarnishing Master's righteous and great image. Old Wu automatically ignored the fact that he had just scolded Ning Fan for being despicable and shameless not long ago. Master, little 8 will certainly be the world's most loyal servant. From now on, I will live for Master and die for Master. Old Wu vowed. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth twitched. If these words were said by Tu Mo or Taya, Ning Fan would still believe some of them. But old Wu. Forget it. I'll keep a close eye on this fellow in the future and give him a warning from time to time, lest this fellow does something stupid again. Tell me about the eternal reign. I want to know the details. Ning Fan casually ordered. Old Wu's spirit was lifted. He had just offended Ning Fan. Now was the time for him to make a contribution. Of course, he would tell him everything he knew. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.